What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday. Hey. The bell kind of, there it goes. There it
You
goes.
just gotta know how to work it.
Maybe we should invest in a new one. A bell.
I can hear you. At least let me do headphones before you say stuff like that. God.
Earmuffs.
Yeah, earmuffs. Right?
Earmuffs.
Headphones.
Happy Friday. We made it.
On a Friday, dark and dreary.
It is a little dark this morning. It looked like
it.
Like rain might pop up here. Allegedly, it's not supposed to rain till this afternoon, but what does weather know? It does what it wants.
What even is weather now?
It does what it wants.
Yep.
It ain't tell nobody what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some rain this morning.
Come
we'll
on, Scott. Open up and give us a little bit.
Yeah. But gotta thank the fine folks in McDonald's, as we do every single Friday. They come through for us with awesome breakfast treats and delicious beverages. Did you get your oatmeal and everything today?
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, biscuits and gravy.
Single order
today.
biscuits and gravy and caramel macchiato.
God, good for you. Good for you. I gotta go fast, so I'm just drinking water this morning.
Or Sonic the Hedgehog.
I gotta go labor.
I gotta go fast.
Gotta fast. No, I gotta go do lab work, but most people get up at 7 and go do it, but I gotta do a show, so I gotta wait till 10.
That's gotta stink a little bit. You're like, thanks, fine folks at McDonald's who are providing breakfast treats for everybody else.
But me. Well, it is what it is. So that's all right. I'm on vacation mode. Well, almost. I'm almost on vacation mode. I'm going to be, Sean's going to take over the chair here Monday and Tuesday next week. I'll be going out of town for a few days with the missus and getting relaxed a little bit and get some R&R.
Going up Doso way.
Yeah, I'm going to go take over the Doso.
It's kind of like Lil Vegas.
A little bit.
You know, you can kind of get the whole experience. You can go up there, you can, run away to the kind of the desert mountain area, which I guess for Vegas would be like Henderson. You can you can gamble. Yeah. Lose it all right there in the cool pines.
No water fountain shows or nothing, but What
always bothered me is when people like in older like media, like movies, TV shows, would lose it all at the casino. They would walk out with a barrel with straps on. Those have got to be expensive. Yeah. I would think a barrel. I mean, even in those days, barrels were, they weren't cheap. They had to be at least, $3-4. And $3-4 was something back in the, the 1910s.
And it's a makeshift shelter.
Right. And where are you getting the straps? Plus, I would argue that's almost better than what you had beforehand.
Might be.
Yeah. You could take that, resell it. You could maybe work the wood into something else once you find clothes again. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, casinos. That's why I would have gambled back in the 1910s.
Seal it back up and make whiskey. Exactly.
This whiskey was aged in a barrel that once housed my genitalia. Drink it in.
That's a marketing campaign right there. But
think about it. They're aging like, whiskey and like wood that's been to the moon and stuff. Everything's got to have a gimmick.
That's right. Well, and that's just it. Like they're, I'm getting off track, but there is a whiskey out there that I think's now going mainstream, where it's starting to, or bougie mainstream, whatever you want to call that.
Right.
But apparently their whole gimmick is they load up the whiskey in the oak barrels and then put it on a boat and then ride it around the ocean so it gets ocean air.
I've heard that, yeah, like sea breeze or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the one that they're literally aging whiskey to Metallica?
Well, there you go.
They put, I think it's matter of fact, I think it's Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
They have a certain certain whiskey that they put in oak barrels, and they're aging it in a room that's playing Metallica. They said that from some study, the vibration of heavy metal music can have an effect on the flavor of the whiskey.
All right.
Yeah.
Obey your master.
And drink it faster.
Speaking of Metallica, I saw a news story yesterday. Apparently, a 30-plus-year-old song from Metallica is now back on the top 50 charts.
Really?
Because of Stranger Things.
Really? See,
Yes.
I gotta get caught up, man.
Yeah, in the most recent part 2, season 4 of Stranger Things, apparently they do Master of Puppets in there. There's a scene in there where Master of the Puppet, and all these kids are like, "Whoa, what's this? This is great!" And now it's on the charts. It's like number 6 or something on the top 50 charts.
Well, in
a song
fairness,
from 1986.
I don't think Kate Bush is complaining in any way, shape, or form. She was like a nobody for 30 years, and all of a sudden Stranger Things decides to play Running Up That Hill, and boy, did it just blow her back up.
Yeah.
But Metallica's sort of like always been here.
Well, apparently to a generation of kids that watch Stranger Things, it wasn't.
Which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Because like Metallica is like this, and I mean this with all due respect,
Yes.
is like the Simpsons of heavy metal. They never went away for us to look back on them.
I understand. Yeah.
And the 90s was also kind of rough for them.
Yeah.
Same thing. Simpsons, although they just have never recovered. They're still tail spinning.
But it's just funny that it was one of these things, and I'm like, of course, when I told Kim about this, I was like, see, now maybe we'll finally get some good music from these generations. They just found out what Metallica is. They'll finally get some good music instead of garbage.
I don't know who this Lars Ulrich cat is. Let me tell you what, Steve Henderson about to put him on the map.
That's right, this Hetfield guy. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, look at that. But we were thanking McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
That's where all of this started. Big thank you to McDonald's. Visit any of your McDonald's here in town. Download the app to your smartphones and utilize it early and often, because you can sign up for the rewards program, and really after 1 or 2 orders, you're accumulating enough rewards points to start buying your own or getting your own free stuff. So.
I didn't think to take a picture, but I went to the McDonald's on the Strip.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's got an escalator.
Nice.
It's really cool. It's got the sign is neon. It's really. I should have taken a picture. I will next time.
Do they have anything different available at the Vegas?
I'm not going to eat at McDonald's on the Strip, Holmes. I have McDonald's here.
So
I have better McDonald's because I have the Roswell McDonald's. These ones are so much better than what they're going to throw me in Vegas.
I was when I was in the Air Force, there was a German McDonald's in Germany. I went to it because I was like,
Yeah, in fairness, I did do that when I was in like Germany or.
I had a beer.
That's pretty awesome. But that's something that you do when you're in another country. When you're in another town, you're looking for stuff you don't have.
Well, Vegas is like another country.
It kind of is.
It's got France. It's got New York.
Oh, I'm so mad. I figured out because the whole weekend we were there, we were trying to get to the Bellagio show. We couldn't ever make it to it. And then I found out yesterday, if we'd just gone to the Eiffel Tower and gone to the observation deck, we could have watched the show from like right there.
It's like right across the street.
Yeah. I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah, you just hang out in that area.
We just didn't plan things well the first time.
Well, and I think I told you, but yeah, when my sister-in-law, she got married at Caesar's Palace. And
which, by the way, is right across the street from the Bellagio, but it's a lifetime away from the doggone place.
Yeah. It's next door.
It's not. It's so hard to get to.
Well, the properties are so big, it's acres of hiking, but basically it's right next door. But we stayed at the Flamingo.
Right.
She was getting married at Caesar. We stayed at Flamingo. Flamingo is right across the street from the Bellagio. So my hotel room, when I opened my window, I literally looked out and there was the Bellagio fountain show.
Nice.
So I didn't have the music to go along with it so much because I was in my room, but I remember getting back late at night there, and I was like, I'm not tired yet. So I literally, all lights are shut off. Kim's going to bed. I just opened the window and sat in a chair and watched the Bellagio show with a drink and just kind of had a good time for an hour before I fell
Sipped
asleep.
on a beverage.
It was
took in a fountain show.
It was kind of a nice night, just hanging out, reflecting.
As one does.
As one does.
But yes, thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's. They provided us fantastic breakfast treats. Download the app. I have recently gone on a points run.
Nice.
I think I'm up to like, I think 3,000 now.
Check you out.
Yeah.
Baller shot caller.
Well, I was sitting in line at the McDonald's the other day and thought, oh, I should have used the app. And I thought, wait, I still can. I can just open it up, get one of their rewards, or not rewards, but the discounts, and then just use the code in the drive-through.
There you go.
So I did just that and got 20% off my order.
Nice. Slick Rick
Download
D's.
that app. You are losing money without it.
That's right. And give it a try. Give it a dance this weekend. So big thank you to McDonald's. Let me give you the rundown here for today. Actually, I don't know why. I just feel like this is fun. This was a nice guy. And he bought advertising with us. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this guy another run. But during the UFO Festival last Friday, we interviewed a gentleman named Bill Bush. And we talked to him for about 20 minutes or so. He's got a series of books called the Vetric series.
Yes.
And he is actually inspired by his son with the idea. And then, but he's an author. This is kind of his second life, becoming an author, and a real nice guy. And so we chatted with him and out at the UFO Festival. And so we're going to make it kind of a author sandwich today. So we'll play that interview with author Bill Bush talking about the Vetric series.
It's a series of 7, right?
Eventually, it's only 4 right now.
Right, so he's in the process of. I think his goal is 7, though.
Yeah.
I like an author who has an end game in mind.
Yeah. Well, it's a series, so
I feel like he's fleshed the story out to know where each one's going to go.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm guessing J.K. Rowling probably had like how it was going to end and how it began. It just,
well, yeah, but then there's George R.R. Martin, who's still just like digging French fries out of his fat rolls, trying to figure out how he's going to wrap up the Ice and Fire series.
I think it's the air up north in New Mexico. It just tends to make people,
flighty.
Yeah,
a bit. It's thinner.
And the meat of our sandwich today will be Sheriff Mike Harrington joining us.
That's a meaty sandwich.
Although I have not heard back. I did shoot him a message yesterday reminding him, and I haven't heard back. So hopefully he'll make it with us here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, part of our sandwich here, the other side, authors John LeMay. And joining us on the phone will be author Donna Blake Burchell. They're going to be talking about the Historic Book Fair, which is mañana, tomorrow, from 10 to noon out at the Historical Societies there at the annex there next door.
200 North Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
204, actually, excuse me, at the archive building, right?
Yeah, the archive facility. That's the name I was trying. I couldn't remember archive facility for some reason. It was not coming to my brain.
You got to, sometimes when you're walking down a path, sometimes you have to jump over the weird, like, gardeny area to the other path and start walking that path for a minute to get back to what you were doing over here.
That's true.
I do it sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. But so they'll join us and we'll talk about their books, talk about the book fair this weekend, and all of that good stuff.
Nice.
So lots of books and a sheriff in the middle.
Authors, and a sheriff in the middle.
There you go.
I like it.
So that's the plan. And McDonald's all around. So that's on tap for this morning's show. Before we do any of that, let's go ahead and take a fine look at your weather, which it's... Mother Nature's a tease, man. Man, she's
Really?
a tease.
Yeah.
She's been teasing us all week. I'm about tired of Give me the good stuff.
She's been donkey lipping us for a while.
Give me the good stuff. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms will be possible for the afternoon. Otherwise, we get a mix of sunshine and clouds today, warming into the upper 90s. Maybe an isolated shower this evening, and then just a few clouds overnight with low 70s. Sunny and hot again on Saturday. We're in the upper 90s, but that slight chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Sunny and 100 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64%, with the winds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Looking at today, there's a 30%. I know it looks like it's going to rain right now, but they say a 30% chance of rain, mainly for this afternoon after 3. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get some sprinklings here this morning. I'll take it. They're partly cloudy today, hot, high of 98 with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain tonight, mainly before 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 73. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then for the weekend, Saturday, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Mostly sunny, high of 98 with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 73, southeast winds 5 miles per hour. Sunday, they're talking sunny, hot, highs right around 99, winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy Sunday night with an overnight low of 74. And then Monday when you head back to work, sunny, hot, high of 102. And then the rain chances enter back into the forecast beginning Monday night. And looks like they'll be lingering with us at least every day through maybe Thursday at least. So that's what we're looking at weather-wise. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to play our interview we had during the UFO Festival on Friday with Bill Bush, author of the Vetric series, and I had a great little conversation with him. So we're going to play that for you here next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
When I was in junior high, my favorite TV show was The A-Team. Deep down, I always wanted to be as tough as Mr. T. A line that appeared in probably every episode was this one.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Even as a 12-year-old boy, I was a planner. While other kids were dreaming of being baseball pitchers, quarterbacks, or rock stars, I was planning my next steps of where to go to grad school. I still have a plan for my life. Everything arranged just right from today until I'm 82. I need to be careful about my planning, though, because James says that life is like a vapor, and what matters most in life isn't necessarily my plan, but God's will. It's not that God is against planning. He talks about it often in Scripture. What he wants me to be careful about is presuming about tomorrow. When I presume about tomorrow, I put off some things that I need to be doing today, things that align with the will of God. I have tomorrow planned out, but I don't really know what tomorrow holds. Maybe it's time to make the most of today.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
One of the best things about summertime in New Mexico is all the great places to go and neat things to do. Camping in the mountains, swimming at the lake, exploring the caverns, and so much more. And what makes all this fun and adventure possible is a dependable car or truck that fits your family and hauls your toys. That's just what you'll find at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of nearly new cars, trucks, and SUVs in southeastern New Mexico. They've all survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee to make sure you're happy. You know Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot and give you a week to think about it. This summer isn't going to last forever, so make the most of it with an upgraded ride from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford at the corner of 9th and Main, the official sponsor of summer fun.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And we are broadcasting live here at the International UFO Museum and Research Center. It is day one of the UFO Festival. The doors have officially opened up here. Folks are having the breakfast and everything else going on. And we are here doing the show today, broadcasting live. Joining us here in our our makeshift studio here in the International UFO Museum is author Bill Bush. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on here. And, of course, Bill, along with his some family here, are the authors of the books, the Vetric series. Morning, Mayor. There's the mayor right there if you want to say hi to him. But the Vetric series, which is and I was kind of reading the synopsis of the books, and it's I guess it's a group of people that don't believe and then get basically believed by they saw it, and then it kind of they find out a whole lot more about what's going on with the aliens, and it's a lot deeper than what they initially. That's kind of how the story goes. I mean, obviously there's a lot of details, but that's in essence kind of the story.
Yeah, the main character is a 12-year-old sixth grader here in Roswell, and he gets kidnapped. He doesn't believe in aliens. His cousin does, but he gets kidnapped by an alien.
Okay.
And that's when he starts believing, obviously, and ends up on the planet Vetrix.
Okay.
And he's got to help them against this intergalactic war, if you will, in order to get home.
Gotcha.
And meanwhile, his cousin and best friend in Roswell, no one believes that he got kidnapped. They think they're playing a prank. And
right.
So then they go hunting, and they end up finding an underground colony of aliens that have been hiding since the 47 crash.
Okay.
And so that's
nice.
kind of the premise.
So it's really like it's just everything peels back a layer, an onion layer here as they go more through it. Now, I was looking. How many books are in the series right now?
4
in the series, but there's more coming, right?
There's 3 more coming. It'll be a 7-book series.
So 7 series total. So you're just slightly over halfway in the story, basically here. Now, this is the part I thought was interesting. This is actually I was reading in the synopsis and everything, and this is actually, I mean, you're the author and writing, but your son was very much part of the inspiration, part of the creating the story, the universe in which you write about.
Yeah, absolutely. When I had bucket list. Writing a book was on my bucket list in 2013.
Okay.
I decided I was going to do it.
So what's your day job, by the way? What do you like? What?
I was a CPA back then.
Okay. All right.
I'm a newspaper reporter now.
Okay. So you were a numbers guy, but like to write, and now you're able to make a career out of that too.
Yeah.
So, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gave you I'm sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh,
about
yeah.
the story.
No, but I just sat him down and I said, I need an idea for a book.
Yeah.
And so he and I brainstormed. He came up with a lot of the characters. The main character's kind of fashioned after him, if you will. So it's got a lot of his quirks and those kind of things. So it's got his fingerprint all throughout the series.
Gotcha. So what was it, the bug that got, I mean, like you said, it was on a bucket list to write a book, but what was it that finally turned? Was it your son, or what was it finally said, you know what, I'm going to start putting, pen to paper or finger to keyboard here?
Like my mom, I grew up, my mom wrote all my life, and she published 2 or 3 books.
Okay.
And so I'd kind of seen that and wanted to do it. But then I started writing a column in April of 2013 for the newspaper.
Okay.
They advertised someone to write a column. I submitted, they accepted. And so starting to write every week kind of got my juices flowing, I guess.
Okay.
And then I just kind of wanted to go from there.
Oh, very cool. So it just, you got bit, basically.
And now I work for the newspaper. I started that column 9 years ago, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and do you still do that same column, or are you doing other stuff? That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great you found, like, what makes you happy, and it's nice that it also pays the bills, too. That's also helpful, I'm guessing, too.
Well, the nonfiction working for the paper pays the bills.
Yeah.
The fiction hasn't yet.
Not yet, but hoping
that's
to.
The dream, yes.
Sure. So, so far as the idea for this series, when, like you said, your son, but was it envisioned always as a 7-series book, or did you know it was going to be a multiple book, or did you think you could do it all? I mean, what was... Did it evolve to 7, or was that from the get-go the plan?
No, I just wanted to write a book when I started. But after I finished, we felt, and it's a complete story, but we felt like there could be a lot more to it.
Like you're thinking, you know what, I could take it in this direction, or I could take it in this direction. Let's play with it and see what it does.
And I just came across a Facebook post yesterday, actually, where I posted back in 2014 or 15 that I was going to make it a trilogy.
Okay.
So originally it was going to be a trilogy, and it just kind of grew. And so I've been thinking, 6 or 7 books for quite a while, and I've this last year I've kind of figured out how I want to end it. So I'm pretty sure it's going to end up at 7.
Okay. Now, from what I was reading in reviews and things, it sounds like this series is kind of geared for a pretty broad audience. Where I mean, so like it's written where your teenagers, your preteen, that age group would definitely be interested in it. But it's also written to where you don't have to be a preteen to enjoy it. You could be adult and 80, 100 years old, and it would appeal to you as well too. But so it's not like it's not written to be written over the head of younger folks. So younger folks will certainly relate to the stories and relate to, because like you said, it's some of that age group in as the characters in the story there.
Yeah, kind of the sweet spot I've found as far as middle school. It's like the 4th to 6th graders really love it.
Yeah.
And adults really like it a lot.
Good deal. It's got that Harry Potter appeal where it doesn't matter if you're a kid or an adult, you're gonna enjoy the story.
Yeah, I think so. I mean? Yeah, that's the feedback I've gotten.
Good. That's great. So how is there an evolution in your writing style from book 1 to book 4 in your opinion, or when we get to book 7, do you think it's gonna look a little and sound a little different than book 1 did? And just because the more you write, the more experience you get, the more you always get better the more you do stuff.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I definitely going back and reading, I'm like, I cringe sometimes, like, I could have wrote that better, that kind of. But I've also got a cozy mystery series. I got 4 books in that.
Okay.
I've got 3 other books I've written but haven't published yet. So I've done a lot of writing.
So you've got other branches in your writing career here too. So was this the Vetric series, the one that started it all?
Yes.
This is the one that bit the bug here and everything.
Yeah.
else. Okay.
And I still think the first chapter in Vetrix is one of my best chapters I've written.
That's that's your proudest, one of your proudest achievements in literature.
Yeah.
There. That's awesome.
So yeah.
How hard is it? And this is because my brain works a certain way, and I'm one of those people. I kind of have to have the one-track mind, because if I multitask, I tend to botch that.
Right.
But you must have like 6 or 7 stories juggling in your head right now. I mean, especially if you're branch, because you started the Vetric series, but you haven't finished the Vetric series, and you've gone into others. The goal is to come back and finish the Vetric series, but how do you balance that where you're like, all right, I know I got to finish this series, but my brain's here right now. Is that where it is? It's just you just go where the brain kind of is feeling creative in that story. I mean,
that's a lot of it. It's hard because I do have so many ideas of knowing what to focus on. And I mean, I could have had the Vetric series done, 2 or 3 years ago if I would have focused on that.
The muse was carrying you other directions.
Yeah. So I've got to appease it, I guess.
Gotcha. Well, sure. And it's kind of like I imagine songwriters and things have a similar, they're working on one thing, but if their brain keeps going here and it's something different, then all right, let's get that out of our system and get that. Maybe we can go back and focus on what we were originally trying to do here. But that's great. And hopefully you get to a point where this is, I imagine you write your day job writing for the paper is still a labor of love as much, even though, you know what I mean? It's there to pay the bills, but you probably love doing it as much, you know what I mean? It's not work because you love doing it, so you don't look at it as a work per se. It's just part of your writing.
Yeah, my lifestyle is writing. I write nonfiction during the day and fiction at night.
So I got to ask, because my father-in-law is a retired CPA, and unless you're really bad at CPAs, they make pretty good money. What was it? Is it just not fulfilling you? And or you just said, you know what, I'm retiring. It's time to do something different.
No, I didn't retire. My passion was writing, and I knew
the numbers weren't motivating you and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I enjoyed it, but I also traveled a lot and just didn't. It just wasn't what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Gotcha. And I imagine too, it also freed up your schedule. Spend more time with the family, kids, because I know CPAs, especially from about January, February till April, they don't come out the office. They're buried in the
right.
You know what I mean? And they're, my father-in-law, he'd be up at 3 a.m. working, and he'd work until 9 o'clock 10 o'clock at night those nights, during tax season.
Right.
So it's a grind. So I can imagine that after a while, that probably kind of gets to you a little bit, especially if you're like, I got this idea for a story, and now you're able to turn that into your passion into living. That's amazing. That's great to see.
Yeah, it's been fun, and I gained 7 to 10 hours just commute time. And now I walk across the street to go to work.
Now it's
So I love the lifestyle. Yeah,
and you may or may not have to wear flip flops. So it's kind of
right.
Nice. I'm curious what, as far as what's next. I mean, do you have another book that you're creating, or is it the next into the vortex here? What is the Vetrix here? What's next for you as an author?
Oh goodness, yeah, I've got. I'm working on book 5
for the Vetrix. Okay.
On the Vetrix series. I may just push through. I may just push 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
Pretty quickly because I already know what they're doing, but I also know the next 3 books in my Cozy Mystery series.
Okay.
So I'm itching to write those.
Okay.
I've got a Christmas story that I've had in my mind for 6 years that has just been sitting there because I haven't had time to write it.
Okay.
And
is it fun to write in different genres? Are they like your Christmas story? Is it? I mean, there's no science fiction at all in that. It's just or is there a twist of science fiction in your Christmas?
No, it's a Santa Claus traditional kind of Christmas. Yeah, and that's part of my marketing challenge that I face is
sure.
I do write all over. The 3 books I finished that I haven't published, one's a paranormal thriller, one's a kid's horror story, kind of like Goosebumps, and the other's like a Christian inspirational book.
Okay.
So I'm all over the place because that's where my mind goes.
Well, that's great, though, but it also probably gives you a platform to kind of – you don't pigeonhole yourself. And that, because like you write the Vetrix series and everyone's like, oh, he's a science fiction author. And then at some point you're like, I'm not feeling writing another alien story or I want to talk about more about life or whatever, or a more heartfelt story, kind of like, I would put a point like a John Grisham. John Grisham, everyone like knows him for his legal thrillers, but they don't realize he's got a whole series of books that have nothing to do with lawyers and courtrooms and things like that.
Right.
But because people know for him as, cert blockbuster movie they've turned into one of his books.
Right.
They know him for that stuff. So that's pretty cool that you get that you're able to say, I'm going to do a science fiction book here, and then I'm going to do a religious book over here, or something that's more for some of my other passions and things like that. So,
well, until I'm relying on the income from my fiction writing, I can write anything I want.
Then the niche will tell you where the money is, right?
Yes.
Exactly. That makes complete sense.
Yep.
So, you're a part of UFO Festival this week, and you're going to be set up over at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Yeah. Are you part of Galacticon? Or are you part of the actual research side over there? I think with the books and stuff, you might be with the Galacticon.
I'm guessing that's where they put me, so I'm guessing that's why. But I've been part of the festival for 5 or 6 years now.
Well, it's all part of the festival.
Yeah,
but there's actually a separate organization running and that's more like the Comic-Con stuff where they've got the cosplay and the comics, but it's the same all together there. So it's
okay.
So you'll be in there. Authors. Matter of fact, there's another great author named John LeMay who he does his books and things up there. He writes a lot of stuff about Billy the Kid and locally here for us.
Yeah.
But then he does a lot of books about the history of Godzilla and so speaking of guys who write multiple genres, so
right.
Definitely a guy that you might, and he does a lot of his own self-publishing and all that kind of stuff too. So how was that getting into the publishing side? Was that did you do it all yourself, or do you have a company that does all that? Or
yeah, I started my own publishing company, and I've been doing all that myself.
Okay, so that's kind of a neat thing that we can do in 2022, where an author 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, you gotta appease somebody at one of these companies, or your book's never going to see the light of day.
Right.
Thanks to technology and everything else, it's a lot different now. So
it is. It opens up some opportunities, but it's also a lot more competition out there because of that.
This is true. So, folks, check it out. If you're out here at the UFO Festival this weekend, come on and you can meet Bill Bush here at the Roswell Convention Civic Center. What time you got to be there? Like noon today or something?
Yeah, well, like 1 to 9 today.
Yeah. So he'll be over there all weekend. You can get a copy of any of the first 4 books in the Vetrix series.
I've got them all. Yeah.
And do you have your other fairs here too?
Yeah.
So all of Bill's books here, and book 5 you're going to have to wait on. That's not quite ready yet. But if you want to come meet him, if you can't make it to UFO Festival and you're out, but you're like, hey, I need to check this out, go to thevetrixseries.com. That is Bill's website that talks all about the Vetrix series and all the different books. if they want to peek into some of your other stuff, where would you point them at?
BillBushAuthor.com.
BillBushAuthor.com. Okay, so maybe you can do some reading here. Get on your phones, do that before you head on out to the convention center here this weekend. And then you can pick Bill's brain about some of his other books and talk with him. And that's the great thing about this is you get to come and meet the authors and talk. And so I'm sure you'll probably meet a few people who have already been reading the books, and they're probably going to have questions for you about, characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you get a lot of those discussions on why did your character go this way with it,
right?
And so that's great to see.
Well, and even if they don't want to buy anything, stop by and visit.
Come by for a visit.
Yeah.
Here. But is there any information you wanted to share that we didn't get a chance to talk about here?
No, I mean, I also have T-shirts.
Okay.
So
you got swag and everything else.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate you visiting and getting here. I'm glad to see, your new passion in life is going pretty good here. And we're welcome to Roswell. This is the first time you've been to Roswell?
No. I actually lived here in the 90s for a couple of years. My dad and sister and brother live here. So
okay. And now you live up north, right?
I'm in Kansas.
Okay.
Yep.
Slightly up north. You're in his neck of the woods. Yeah, he's from Kansas City.
Halstead.
Oh, yeah. He came to us from Kansas City area.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
Good deal. Well, thank you very much, Bill. Thank you for visiting with us. Thank you for coming and talking to us today. And we look forward to come meet Bill. If y'all come meet Bill out at the convention center here, like I said, about noon one today when they open everything up over there, you can come by and see Bill and start getting copies of this book and all of his other books as well too. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Good deal. Well, thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And help yourself to McDonald's. There's some donuts.
Oh,
over
all
there.
right.
Got you covered there.
Now for a Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. We begin today with a traffic alert in Roswell. The next phase of a street improvement project on West McGaffey Street is scheduled to begin on Monday. McGaffey will be closed from just east of South Union Avenue to Sunset Avenue, and that includes the intersection of McGaffey and Union. The closure will take place every day during the daytime, and the street will be reopened during the nighttime. The project on this section of street is scheduled to last all week. Motorists are reminded to be aware of traffic control and the detour signs. Eddy County Manager Alan Davis confirming to commissioners this week that an industrial revenue bond granted to Houston-based Summit Midstream Partners has been paid off 25 years early. The bonds were granted so the company could buy land and build their natural gas plant. Well, the agreement was scheduled to end in 2047, but Davis told commissioners the entire bill was paid off last month. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
There's just something about the quasi-anonymity of email, text messaging, and online posts that brings out the harshest elements of our personality. In America, you can insult anybody or anything online, but the Japanese have apparently had enough. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Secure your online data and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Beginning today in Japan, insulting anyone online is now punishable by up to a year in prison. They say the law is their way of fighting cyberbullying. And no, I'm not talking about threats or slander and libel, where you say or publish something that's false and damaging. I'm talking about a simple insult. Of course, here in America, this law couldn't pass First Amendment protections, but Japan has no First Amendment. Still, there's this tiny problem. Japan has no legal definition of what exactly constitutes an online insult. So take care when traveling in Japan. I post breaking tech news 24/7 at my website, commando.com. In life, there are good surprises and bad surprises. Finding $20? Good surprise. Car breaking down? Bad surprise. But when you have a protection plan through CarShield, those bad surprises are easier to handle. CarShield offers protection plans for around $100 a month that cover more parts than ever before. When you need a repair, there's no paperwork or headaches. Just choose the mechanic to do the work, and CarShield administrators will handle the rest. And here's a good surprise. Every protection plan includes coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental car options, and trip reimbursement at no extra cost. Lock in your price by getting coverage today, and it will never go up. CarShield helps make the surprise of your car breaking down easier to handle. Get coverage like I did. Go to carshield.com/Kim or call 800-391-8888 to save 10% on your plan. That's carshield.com/Kim or call 800-391-8888 to save 10%. That's carshield.com/Kim. Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms will be possible for the afternoon. Otherwise, we get a mix of sunshine and clouds today, warming into the upper 90s. Maybe an isolated shower this evening, and then just a few clouds overnight with low 70s. Sunny and hot again on Saturday. We're in the upper 90s, but that slight chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Sunny and 100 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. After massive hiring sprees for a year and a half to meet surging shopper demand, America's retailers are starting to scale back their recruiting. The changing mindset comes as companies confront a pullback in consumer spending, prospect of an economic downturn, and surging labor costs. Some analysts suggest that merchants have also learned to do more with fewer workers. The nation's top employer, Walmart, said it recently overhired because of a COVID-related staffing shortage, and then reduced its headcount through attrition. In April, Amazon said it too had decided that it had an excess of workers in its warehouses. Amazon's plans to put a regional cargo hub at Newark Liberty International Airport have been scrubbed. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the airport's operator, said in a statement Thursday that negotiations over the past year have failed to produce an agreement. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Time for the 86th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, July 29th through August 6th at the Lee County Fairgrounds. This year, it's all about honoring our heritage. Come enjoy the Arts and Crafts Showcase, the Carnival, Extreme Bulls event, the PRCA Rodeo, the livestock shows, commercial vendors, and some of the best fair food in the state. And of course, the concert series with Ramon Ayala y sus Bravos del Norte La Leyenda, Friday, July 29th at 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 2nd, Randall King takes the stage at 9:30.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Wednesday, August 3rd, it's Zach Williams at 9:30.
He's a chain breaker.
Thursday, August 4th, don't miss the Randy Rogers Band at 9:30. Friday, August 5th, it's Joe Nichols at 9:30.
Yeah, tequila makes her clothes fall off.
And Cody Johnson on Saturday, August 6th at 9:30.
Till you can.
Admission is free Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday all day, and every day before 5. $10 for adults, kids 6 to 12, $5, and 5 and under are free. More info at leecountyfair.net. See you at the Lee County Fair, July 29th through August 6th at the Lee County Fairgrounds.
When I was in junior high, my favorite TV show was The A-Team. Deep down, I always wanted to be as tough as Mr. T. A line that appeared in probably every episode was this one.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Even as a 12-year-old boy, I was a planner. While other kids were dreaming of being baseball pitchers, quarterbacks, or rock stars, I was planning my next steps of where to go to grad school. I still have a plan for my life, everything arranged just right from today until I'm 82. I need to be careful about my planning, though, because James says that life is like a vapor, and what matters most in life isn't necessarily my plan, but God's will. It's not that God is against planning. He talks about it often in Scripture. What he wants me to be careful about is presuming about tomorrow. When I presume about tomorrow, I put off some things that I need to be doing today, things that align with the will of God. I have tomorrow planned out, but I don't really know what tomorrow holds. Maybe it's time to make the most of today.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Some things sound so good you can almost taste it. Like Bluebell Strawberry Lemonade Ice Cream. Delicious strawberry ice cream swirled with lemonade sherbet and sprinkled with lemon-flavored flakes. It's better than you can imagine.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Albertsons United Supermarkets and all Farmers Country Markets.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:49. Got a few minutes here before we kick off the next hour of the show. So I was tootling around on the internets a few minutes ago, and I don't know. I think this has been out for a couple of weeks, but I just learned of it this morning. But apparently, Ozzy Osbourne has a new song. I was surprised. It just, I know the kid's like, you mean the guy that does TV? Yeah. Does a thing with this kid about aliens? Yeah. No, but prior to all that, Ozzy was the front man for Black Sabbath, and then he went on and did his solo career, and he's a rock legend. But he put out a new album, or he's got a new album coming out, I guess. But they put out the first single or whatever. I don't know how it works nowadays, but back in the day when they put an album out, they'd put the single out, and you'd hear it for a couple weeks, and the album come out. And I don't know, in the world of iTunes and Spotify and all this stuff, it's I don't know if it still works that way with albums, but Ozzy's doing it that way. And so I checked out the single, and it's called Patient Number 9, and it features Jeff Beck on guitar. So I've listened to it. It sounds like Ozzy. It's if you're a fan of Ozzy, then you'll probably like this because it sounds like an Ozzy song. So I want to play a couple minutes of it here just to. And now, this is not your thing. You're not into rock music, then you're probably not going to like this. But for Ozzy fans, at least this is it. I was checked out, watched the video, and it's an older Ozzy, but at the same time, it's like all of Ozzy's songs. It's an Ozzy song, man. You can tell. But here it is. It's called Patient Number 9. It's the latest from Ozzy Osbourne.
Is there a way out of it? Hey, how long have you been here? Excuse me. Could you tell them to get out of here? I want to go
See what I'm saying? It sounds very Ozzy-like.
.5 Roswell Talk FM, your home for new rock. That's Ozzy.
Yeah, what do you think? It sounds like Ozzy.
I dig all that, and I haven't gotten to do a back sell on 106.5 in a real long time. So there are certain things you get excited about. I was like, wait, are we switching formats like mid-morning?
That's right. We're going right in the middle of the show.
Right before Mike's vacation, too.
Rock format. Coming next, Linkin Park.
Check out the video.
I know, I saw.
That's gnarly.
Tanner was showing the video off my computer there.
Yeah, if you want to check out the video, you could find it on YouTube, or you can go to 106.5 Roswell Talk FM on Facebook and find us.
Tilt your head slightly to the left.
That's an awkward angle.
But it's typical Ozzy.
I'm surprised he can still do it. The man can barely talk. How is he still able to sing?
Well, I don't know if you heard. On guitar is Jeff Beck.
Really?
He's the lead guitarist.
Okay.
To be honest, I want more Jeff Beck in here. He's a little subdued in this.
Well, yeah.
Like, towards the end, you can hear more in the guitar solos.
Sure.
But
it's also an Ozzy song, so it's going to be Ozzy.
I know,
forward.
but when you got a legendary guitarist on it, you better showcase him on the song.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they showcase him enough in here. I mean, you can hear it there a little bit, but
that makes sense. You also, I think you just kind of have to work around the limitations of Ozzy's voice. Because I'm guessing he's auto-tuned all to Hades on this one.
Oh, yeah.
I have to assume.
I've heard Ozzy talk, and I hear this song, and they don't
Here's
sound
my
the same.
theory. Here's my actual theory.
Oh, here you go. There's more Jeff Beck here.
Ooh. Take it for a walk. Oh, nice.
I want more of this.
I like it. He said, "Can I play? Can I play?" Nice.
Yeah,
well played. But yeah, no, I'm impressed. But here's my theory.
Yeah.
Ozzy, and this is just a theory, recorded a bunch of like vocals like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Back when he still had a voice box that functioned and a brain that was sort of there. And I think they're just slowly but surely releasing these. His vocal cuts, they're producing with other musicians from today, is my theory.
Could be.
That all this was recorded,
I wonder
a dog's
because
age ago.
Hasn't he been like in the hospital recently with major stuff and all that?
I thought he had cancer.
Was that it? I knew it was
I
something.
don't
I don't remember what the whole deal is. But then again, yeah, he may have produced this years ago and they're just now putting it in the can or who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, for all I know, this is brand new and he's in studio.
It's a new release to us anyway, and it's kind of cool. I kind of dig it. Let's see, do we get flagged on? No.
Yeah.
I just saw I got a Facebook notice like we just get flagged for copyright because they like to do that to us.
June 13th. This is literally last month. Ozzy Osbourne to undergo major operation for unknown ailment.
Yeah. And I know this, I think they released this song about 2 weeks ago to the public. I didn't hear about it till this morning, so.
Yeah, and he got COVID in April, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, wow. I just said Ozzy death news today, 2022. Like, no.
Interesting. So
106.5, Roswell's new rock.
I'm curious to see what the rest of the album sounds like when it comes out here later on. So, but I was kind of like, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's what I like about it because, and I don't know if this is like a resurge here, but it seems like rock, rock music, they're not putting out new stuff and all this. And so, and then when they do, it's not the same.
That there's you feel like there's almost like a resurgence of new old rock.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Def Leppard's got a new album out now.
Right.
You got Motley Crue touring again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for how long because they're a hot mess. They'll implode at some point, but for now they're touring.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel where you're coming from. It feels like almost like the sentiment, the zeitgeist itself has kind of been refocused towards that music of that genre.
Yeah.
And you could maybe blame things like, Stranger Things for, this is the other thing is you can call it the Stranger Things effect because look at like several of these companies that over the years have gone through 16 different logos.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody's going back to their 80s logo.
Well, it's weird. Have
you seen a Domino's pizza box lately?
Yeah.
That thing looks straight out of 87.
Well, that's Stranger Things.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But it's just, as I'm saying, it's like them, Coke did it.
But it almost seems like the 80s artists that were doing the casino tours are now back to stadium tours.
Mm-hmm.
And the 90s artists that were still doing stadium tours are now doing casino tours. Because if you notice, guys like Uncle Kracker are showing up in casinos and things now. And in the 90s, Uncle Kracker was selling out, 50,000 seat arenas and everything else.
Which is exciting to me because that means I have a chance to see Tony at at some random casino sometime.
Or Lit.
Right?
Actually, Lit's blowing up
right now.
Between the Rush or Travis and Sexton.
And then also in the trailer for...
what movie we were just seeing?
Clerks 3.
Clerks 3, yeah. They were showing that the Lit was in there. I was like, man, Lit's getting all kinds of love here in 2022. So, I don't know. Of course, they're a 90s band and early 2000s more.
Which leads me to wonder, do you think that Dante and Randall are like uber conservative now? Since they're a little older?
Well, based on watching the trailer for Clerks 3,
it's kind of hard to gauge.
Like,
that they both have at least a little bit of money.
You know what they are? They're liberals of the 90s. They're the new conservative. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's kind of
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's the new
Dennis, what's his name?
Leary?
Oh, no. The other one, the guy who's now a conservative talker, Miller. Dennis
Miller, yeah.
Yeah, basically that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, way smaller words.
Sure.
All right, it is 8 o'clock. Go be patient. Number 9 with Ozzy. We're gonna get you up to date with news. We'll be back. You're listening to 106.5
Roswell's New Rock.
Yeah, you're home for rock. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The latest snapshot of the job market shows America's employers adding 372,000 jobs in June.
It was a surprisingly strong gain that will likely spur the Federal Reserve to keep sharply raising interest rates to cool the economy and slow price increases. The past year's streak of robust hiring has been good for job seekers and has led to higher pay for many, but has also helped to fuel the highest inflation in 4 decades and heighten pressure on the Fed to further slow borrowing and spending. Unemployment held steady at 3.6% for a 4th straight month. Bob Agnew reporting.
There is shock and mourning across Japan following the assassination of a former Prime Minister. Shinzo Abe was shot during a public appearance in western Japan. The BBC's Mariko Orr.
There were 2 what appeared to be gunshot sounds that were heard when Mr. Abe was making a speech. Since then, a 42-year-old man who lives in Nara has been in police custody, and we learned that he is a former maritime self-defense force, and he had 2 guns, one reportedly homemade.
World leaders chiming in, former President Trump calling it absolutely devastating news. The White House issued a statement of shock and sadness. And Japan's current Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, says that in the midst of an election which is the root of democracy, this dastardly event took place. And quoting the Prime Minister, "I would like to use the harshest words to condemn this unforgivable act." President Biden reportedly planning executive action aimed at assisting women seeking abortions in this post-Roe v. Wade era. An announcement is expected on that later this morning. On Wall Street, stocks are trading lower. The Dow down 119 points. The S&P is off 26 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999.
In Britain, at least 2 conservative politicians have come forward hoping to succeed Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. Johnson announced his resignation after droves of top government officials quit over the latest scandal to engulf Johnson, marking an end to 3 tumultuous years. Months of defiance came to an end almost with a shrug. Johnson standing outside number 10 Downing Street, conceding that his party wanted him gone. In Johnson's words, them's the breaks. Hundreds of thousands of Muslim pilgrims from around the globe raised their hands and offered prayers on Mount Arafat in Saudi Arabia Friday, an intense day of worship considered to be the climax of the annual Hajj. Multitudes stood shoulder to shoulder, feet to feet for the emotional day of prayer. The Hajj, a once-in-a-lifetime duty for all Muslims who are physically and financially able to make that pilgrimage. News and analysis at townhall.com. A second conviction in the high-profile Theranos case.
A jury has convicted former Theranos executive Sunny Balwani of collaborating with disgraced CEO Elizabeth Holmes in a massive fraud involving the blood testing company. The 12 jurors found Balwani guilty of all 12 felony counts of defrauding both investors and the patients who trusted unreliable blood tests that could have jeopardized their health. Holmes was convicted on 4 counts of investor fraud and conspiracy earlier this year. The two each face up to 20 years in prison. Holmes is scheduled to be sentenced in late September. The date on Balwani's sentencing is expected to be set in the coming days. I'm Shelley Adler.
Deeply divided top diplomats from the world's richest and largest developing nations are meeting, struggling to find common ground over Russia's war in Ukraine and how to deal with its global impacts. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday!
And we really mean happy Friday.
Oh, yeah. From the hearts of our bottoms.
That's right. The subcockles of our hearts.
That's right. That was actually a Don and Mike bit. Sorry, Don and Mike is a show I used to listen to growing up. But one of the Don Geronimo... You Don Geronimo? Sound good. Sorry, that's the day. But anyway, he used to always say, from the heart of my bottom, thank you for listening.
From the heart of my bottom.
So
the subcockle thing was a Dennis Leary thing.
Was it?
He was talking about from deep within our hearts, the cockles of our hearts. Actually, the subcockle area. Yeah, that's the subcockle heart of our hearts.
That's layers of kid up in me, just gurgling to the surface. So, happy Friday. Hope you're gurgling into your weekend.
Donkey lip in it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Like one more time.
To the fine folks at McDonald's for providing us and staff and guests wonderful, delicious, and belly-filling breakfast treats.
Satisfying.
Yeah, they really do an amazing job of hooking us up and helping us out. Between our hard R sommelier with our McDonald's sommelier, who deems and decides the menu fare for us each and every Friday. But big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by your McDonald's closest to you, be that at the north end or the south end or right downtown in the sweet spot. We got you covered. And don't forget, download that app. You can do a delivery to the app. You can pick it up and head on out and not even get out your car. Or you can say, you know what? I will be dining in today. And then when you get there, you order your food and sit down and enjoy your meal.
When I was a kid, they used to run this yearly contest on Nickelodeon called Nick Takes Over Your School.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
I kind of vaguely remember, like in my teenage years, seeing that like later on Nickelodeon.
It was a huge deal. And every year you would, and this is how early it was, before the internet, you would, on a postcard, you would, put all your info, mail it into McDonald's. They would pick one and they would come to your school, and for the whole day, they would put on games. They would have like some of the stars of their shows show up and run things. But the big deal, and always the biggest deal.
So Mark Summers would come to your school?
Yeah, like Mark Summers would come out and run Double Dare there. Keenan and Kel would show up.
Okay.
I'm guessing the foam versions of some of the animated characters. So you might get like a SpongeBob or something like that. Or back in my day,
an actual SpongeBob.
Yeah. Back in my day, it'd be like a Ren and Stimpy or something like that.
Gotcha, yeah.
Or Doug. But
I'm Doug.
the big deal was McDonald's would bring Happy Meals for every kid in your school.
Nice.
So like they would take over lunch and like but that was such a big deal. The thought of having McDonald's in school.
Yeah.
Cut to 2022. We can make it happen.
Yeah.
McDelivery can deliver to wherever you happen to be.
Yeah. And now the modern version of that is they get various artists to do stuff like other establishments, but McDonald's has really been doing that with their food and not just their food, but some other stuff. Like I don't know, and this is where I'm sorry, I'm a 50-year-old man now, but like they've got some featured artists on the app and things like that. It's not my genre of music, but young folks, they love all this stuff. So
I think when they did their last collaboration, they also put out a series of NFTs.
Okay.
So they're even entering that space.
All right, because this is again, this is where I'm playing boomer guy.
Sure.
I know I've heard of NFTs, but what exactly is an NFT?
So you're asking the wrong person. But what I can tell you is that NFT stands for a non-fungible token.
Okay.
What it means is it's basically like a GIF. If there's a picture on the internet, you own the original link to that picture.
Oh.
You purchase the link to that, so that is yours.
Right.
You own that.
So many people can steal it from you as much as they want.
They can just right-click Save As, and they have essentially a lower resolution version of what you have. But everybody's doing these with what's the guy who founded Twitter? He sold the first tweet ever as an NFT, and somebody bought it. And but the thing is,
so they're trying to make value out of something that doesn't have value to get people to put value into it.
But it's all based on the blockchain, and so it's funded through crypto.
What this is?
And
this is 2022's version of baseball card collecting.
Kinda.
That's all this is.
Except for not even as cool because you don't get to turn over, look at the stats, hold it in your hand.
Yeah. Or get that old stale gum.
Yeah. You're like, I own this picture. You go right click. Hey, I do too.
Right? I'm a bear.
Want to go hang out on Sundays? We can show each other a picture.
All right, so it's a bunch of hooey. Okay.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense on a certain level, but the other thing is, after the crypto market sort of, crashed 3 or 4 months ago, it sort of put all that kind of in a tailspin too.
So it's basically another trying to make a quick buck scheme that some people made a bunch of money off of. Now the rest of the rubes are trying to do it, and they're like, yeah, it won't work.
I read
that
a
way.
stat. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was 0.01% of the population owns 80% of all of the NFTs out there. So it's 100,000 people or something, some stupid low number like that is essentially controls this entire marketplace. It's just it's all weird. I don't know.
I'm gonna do the same thing with smells.
Remember, yeah, right?
I'm gonna capture smells.
A non-fungible smell. Right. It's but remember how
NFSs.
Yeah. NFSs. But it's basically like I was saying the other day, it's people who have way too much money are using said money on stupid things.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Fallon, I think, bought one. That was a big one. Was the Bored Ape was a big run for the NFTs.
Okay.
And and that's the other thing is all these pictures are the same picture, just with different stuff on them.
Okay. Kids, go buy some Cracker Jacks. You get the same experience. That's kind of what we did.
I really thought you were going to say, go buy some crack. It's where are we going with this now?
Cracker
Thanks
Jacks.
to McDonald's.
By the way, I went and got a couple weeks ago on a whim. I was shopping at the grocery store and they had a bag of Cracker Jacks.
Really?
Like a snack bag.
Like a chip bag.
Yes.
Wow.
Of Cracker Jacks. And I said, okay, I'm in.
You're coming home with me then.
Yes, right. Yeah. Come on. And true to form, just like Cracker Jacks.
I was going to ask, did it have a prize?
Yes, it did.
All right.
It had a prize.
Was it a better prize?
Well,
because Cracker Jack prizes have really gone down.
Yeah. It wasn't anything impressive, but granted, I'm 50 now.
Right, but you'd think for a bigger bag, it'd have a little bit of a bigger prize.
I'm pretty sure that my favorite prize was highly carcinogenic, and that's why they don't have them anymore. Remember the old lick tattoos?
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite thing, but I'm pretty sure there's probably all kinds of cancer causing some or others and those things. And oh, by the way, kids, your tongue's going to fall off, but I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it was a little nostalgic, like the boxes of Cracker Jacks. There's 6 peanuts in there. The rest of the thing.
There's like no peanuts in there.
And they all fall to the bottom.
Mhm.
So you basically caramel popcorn, which is delicious, by the way.
Sure.
And then when you get to the bottom, you got a half dozen caramel covered nuts down there at the bottom.
A little handful to enjoy.
Yeah. So.
Seriously, Cracker Jack, and I know you guys you're an institution, but step it up with the peanuts.
Here's the problem. Cracker Jacks got outplayed by
Crunch and Munch.
And what's the other one? Munchables, Munchies, or there's two different Fiddle Faddle.
Yeah, Fiddle Faddle. That's
Fiddle
what it is.
Faddle and Munch and Crunch. Yeah, because which Fiddle Faddle and Munch and Crunch did? They said, you know what? I see what you did here, Cracker Jacks. Except we're going to put more caramel in it. Now we're going to clump it so the popcorn and the peanuts clump together in this big cluster goo.
Yeah,
which is delightful.
And now you can eat it like a hand fruit.
Yeah, and exactly. And it tastes good. So, I Fiddle Faddle and Crunch and Munch.
I haven't thought about Fiddle Faddle in years, dude. Crunch and Munch just because I see it on the shelves sometimes, but Fiddle Faddle. That's a pull out of left field, man.
It's still around.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's Fiddle Faddle.
Wow.
If you scour, you can find a Fiddle Faddle here or there. But yeah, and I think Cracker Jacks I'm sorry. Crunch and Munch and Fiddle Faddle put out a better product than Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jacks was the OG, but Fiddle Faddle and Crunch and Munch
Cracker Jack was way too comfortable riding the coattails that Major League Baseball provided them for so many years.
That's right. Buy you some peanuts and Fiddle Faddle, and next thing you know, Cracker Jacks would step up the
Honestly,
game.
Crunch and Munch. It fits the rhyme scheme, or it's the iambic pentameter of the song.
Yeah.
Buy me some peanuts and Crunch and Munch. It really could have been.
Could have been. Let's work on that.
Should have been.
Yeah.
Should have been. I say we take it back.
But it was nice to have a nostalgic little Cracker Jack thing and all that. But yeah, put more nuts in there, man.
I think there's one called Poppycock now too.
That's been out for a while.
Has it?
I think that's more of a bougie version.
It's like for the Cracker Jack aficionados.
Maybe it's British.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. It sounds
British. Yeah.
Sounds like a British slang word. Poppycock.
Yeah, poppycock.
But yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if it's any better or worse or what, but I was on team Fiddle Faddle and Crunch and Munch because you could literally buy that little box for $1, and that's I'm a fat guy. I eat them all at one time. Right. Most people would not. I've not seen or heard from the sheriff yet. I sent him a message yesterday. Hopefully he'll join us here in just a little bit. If not, we're talking about Fiddle Faddle for the next 40 minutes.
It's all it's the Fiddle Faddle hour.
I kid, but I'm not.
Bringing it back around to McDonald's, have you had a chance to try out their new chocolatey pretzel McFlurry?
No, I keep missing it.
You gotta do it, man.
I need to do
limited
that.
time,
yeah.
and I feel like it's with you in mind.
My life's been in a whirlwind, and I haven't had a chance to even go and go out and eat and just.
No, I know.
My summers get a little. My schedule gets a little deal. Sweet bunches of oats.
Hmm?
I'm not familiar with that one. Someone texted me
brand?
Sweet Bunches of Oats.
Well, there's the cereal honey bunches.
I would say this. Yeah, the cereal honey bunches of oats.
Sweet bunches of oats. Let me find if there's anything out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting his honey bunches.
I wonder if that's an old school Sweet Bunches.
Maybe.
I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, honey bunches of oats is the cereal, and to me, that's like they're appealing to adults that want kids cereal.
Yeah.
Like they want to say, they want to be adults and be like, I eat Total and those kind of cereals, but no one likes them because, let's face it, it's like eating dirt.
They've worked them, brands have worked themselves into a problem.
Yes, Honey Bunches of Oats.
Honey Bunches of Oats, yeah.
Said before Honey Bunches, it came out before in the Carolinas before the Honey Bunches.
Oh, okay.
Sweet Bunches.
Sweet Bunches.
Very
nice.
cool.
But yeah, I was in the store the other day. I'm walking along in the cereal aisle, and I know they have, like, everybody and their mom is coming out with their own kind of cereal now. So I know that Pop-Tarts has, or at least had, a cereal.
Oh, really? But I know they make mini versions now.
Right.
Like poppable Pop-Tarts, yeah.
But then, next to the cereal, I see a cereal-sized box of Pop-Tarts. Like of actual Pop-Tarts, but the box was cereal box size.
So it's like an economy size with like 30 Pop-Tarts in there?
It's getting confusing as a consumer now, because what if I wanted Pop-Tart cereal and I ended up going home with a big box of Pop-Tarts? I'm going to be disappointed.
Hulk smash, man, and throw some milk on it.
It's going to be soggy, though, in a minute. I don't know.
All cereal's soggy in a minute.
That's true. That is.
Except for Grape Nuts. That thing never gets soggy.
Right?
Never has any taste either.
I like a good grape nut.
I know you do, but I don't get it. I do not understand why people on this earth like grape nuts. I do not get it. Every time I've eaten it, all I taste is dirt. I literally could go outside and just run my tongue right across the ground, and I just ate a bowl of grape nuts.
Wouldn't recommend it.
But to me, that's...
At least it's washed dirt.
And then they say things like, "Oh, it's better hot." Really? Tastes like hot dirt.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, I've had it hot. It's okay hot.
And then they're like, "Add this and this and this," and like, you know what'd be better?
Just
eat all that stuff and take the grape nuts out.
You could just eat it. You could just slice a strawberry and eat that. But no, I mean, honestly, a good cold bowl of grape nuts, as long as the milk is like it's ice cold. It has to be frigid. I like it. I like it a lot.
Gosh, that's gross.
It's not my favorite cereal, but I'm just saying I've had moments or an occasion where I've had a craving for a bowl of grape nuts.
Yeah.
It's just happens sometimes.
It's a weird craving.
But then again, my actual go-to favorite cereal is Post Toasties.
Okay.
That's what we grew up on. That's what I loved growing up, was just regular, off-brand cornflakes.
I have two favorite cereals. One's the adult Mike. One is child Mike.
Sure. Cocoa Puffs, I'm guessing.
Yeah, child Mike is Cocoa Puffs.
Okay.
10 times. Yeah, I grew up on the Cocoa Puffs because they turned my milk chocolate. And it was one of the first. Actually, to be honest, I started with a brand called Crazy Cow.
Okay.
By Kellogg's. They ceased making Crazy Cow. And
probably because of what was making the cow crazy.
And so I went to Cocoa Puffs. But it was, in essence, Crazy Cow is Cocoa Puffs. Just a cheaper version or a off-brand, or I don't even know. But I ate Crazy Cow until I went to Cocoa Puffs. And then my adult one is Quaker Oats, the toasted oatmeal squares.
I do like those. Those are great.
I love them. The only problem with them is after I eat a bowl, my jaw hurts.
Right.
There's so much chewing. But I love those. I love the toasted, and that was because of my grandmother. I think I've told this story. My grandmother, I used to, my father's mother, she lived in upstate New York, and I think I've told the story. She's very proper on her foods and all that stuff. But during the summers, my brother and I, it was me earlier, and then when he got a little older, it was both of us. But we'd go spend like a 2-week stint up at Grandma's in New York. Mom and Dad getting the vacation.
Were done with you for a minute.
Ship the boy off for 2 weeks, kind of deal.
Get that.
And she for every morning for breakfast, she would do she'd offer cereals or fruit or whatever it was, and except for like Saturday and Sunday mornings, those were formal breakfasts.
Okay.
Pancake Saturdays and formal egg, bacon, homemade blueberry muffin Sunday breakfast.
Dang.
But anyway, during the week, it was in the morning we'd have cereal and toast or whatever, lighter fare foods. But Grandma had a stack of cereals in the cabinet there. All of the cereals were not meant for her grandkids. I don't know who's eating these cereals, but it was Total.
Okay.
Grape Nuts.
Okay.
Special K.
All right.
One of the Chexes. I don't remember which one.
By the way, I like Total too. That was another good one.
I like Total when you put a gallon of sugar on it. But and the Quaker Oats toasted oatmeal squares.
Okay.
And I'm like going through here and I'm like, all right, which one looks less gross? And I picked that one. And I secretly started liking it. And so that became my go-to adult-like cereal. I'm sure it's not healthy like the rest. I mean, it is healthy as as healthy is.
It's basically you're eating oats. I mean,
but to call it a healthy food,
it's better than pumping like corn or rice or whatever else,
or sugar or whatever else into there. Yeah,
into your body.
Yeah. So, but and they've got a couple different flavors now. The blue box is my favorite, but they also have like a cinnamon version and some other color box with a slightly different flavor. Like something, but all breakfast related.
There's the original, which is like what, maple brown sugar,
something like that, and then there's whatever the blue box is. That's the one I get. I live my life this way. People are like, what
It's
flavor
true.
do you like? I don't. It's the one in the brown
His
box.
pretzel
the one in the
crisps,
green-
his
everything in my,
cereals.
the one in the green box. That's the one I like, and that's how I live my life.
You're going through a blue period right now.
That's what I am.
I respect it.
It is 8:24. Let's go ahead and do some weather and a quick commercial break. I haven't heard from the sheriff yet. We'll give him some time, but we may be talking more about. See, we haven't. We'll get in another category for now. I'm just kidding. We'll talk some stuff here on the other side. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms will be possible for the afternoon. Otherwise, we get a mix of sunshine and clouds today, warming into the upper 90s. Maybe an isolated shower this evening, and then just a few clouds overnight with low 70s. Sunny and hot again on Saturday. We're in the upper 90s, but that slight chance of a late day shower or thunderstorm. Sunny and 100 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
One of the best things about summertime in New Mexico is all the great places to go and neat things to do. Camping in the mountains, swimming at the lake, exploring the caverns, and so much more. And what makes all this fun and adventure possible is a dependable car or truck that fits your family and hauls your toys. That's just what you'll find at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of nearly new cars, trucks, and SUVs in southeastern New Mexico. They've all survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee to make sure you're happy. You know Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot and give you a week to think about it. This summer isn't going to last forever, so make the most of it with an upgraded ride from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford at the corner of 9th and Main, the official sponsor of summer fun.
Time for the 86th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, July 29th through August 6th at the Lee County Fairgrounds. This year, it's all about honoring our heritage. Come enjoy the Arts and Crafts Showcase, the Carnival, Extreme Bulls event, the PRCA Rodeo, the livestock shows, commercial vendors, and some of the best fair food in the state. And of course, the concert series with Ramon Ayala y sus Bravos del Norte de la Leyenda, Friday, July 29th at 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 2nd, Randall King takes the stage at 9:30.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Wednesday, August 3rd, it's Zach Williams at 9:30.
He's a chain breaker.
Thursday, August 4th, don't miss the Randy Rogers Band at 9:30. Friday, August 5th, it's Joe Nichols at 9:30.
Yeah, tequila makes her clothes fall off.
And Cody Johnson on Saturday, August 6th at 9:30. Admission is free Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday all day and every day before 5. $10 for adults, kids 6 to 12, $5, and 5 and under are free. More info at leecountyfair.net. See you at the Lee County Fair, July 29th through August 6th at the Lee County Fairgrounds.
When I was in junior high, my favorite TV show was The A-Team. Deep down, I always wanted to be as tough as Mr. T. A line that appeared in probably every episode was this one.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Even as a 12-year-old boy, I was a planner. While other kids were dreaming of being baseball pitchers, quarterbacks, or rock stars, I was planning my next steps of where to go to grad school. I still have a plan for my life. Everything arranged just right from today until I'm 82. I need to be careful about my planning, though, because James says that life is like a vapor, and what matters most in life isn't necessarily my plan, but God's will. It's not that God is against planning. He talks about it often in Scripture. What he wants me to be careful about is presuming about tomorrow. When I presume about tomorrow, I put off some things that I need to be doing today, things that align with the will of God. I have tomorrow planned out, but I don't really know what tomorrow holds. Maybe it's time to make the most of today.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 28 minutes after 8 o'clock. Have not heard from a guest yet, so we'll see if they drop by here. But I do want to put on your radar, the Roswell Lady Coyotes are going to be hosting a soccer camp for girls and boys ages 5 through 13. It's going to be July 18th and 19th, and it's going to be taking place at the RHS Girls Soccer Field, which is located at 500 West Hobbs here in Roswell. The camp, the 2-day camp, will feature skills and ball techniques, footwork exercises, strategy and teamwork exercises, fun games and trial matches, and then water fun on day 2 after the camp. Each camper will receive a breakfast and lunch during those 2 days, a T-shirt, a certificate, and water bottle. The camp will run, again, the 18th and 19th from 8:30 to 11:30 both days. Register day one on the 18th from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Again, it'll all be there at the RHS Girls Soccer Field, 500 West Hobbs. But this is for boys and girls ages 5 through 13, and it's put on by the Roswell Lady Coyotes soccer team there. And go out there, support the kids. And I love these because it's great because, they get the younger kids and they look up to the high school players, and they always kind of like, ooh, I want to be them when I get big and all that. And I love that because, and then of course the teenagers, the high school students that are teaching these young kids the camp, it's one of those early times for these kids where they get to be where the role reverses a little bit, where, as a kid, and I don't think we even realize it so much as us growing up, but, when you're a teenager, when you're a kid, it's everybody else telling you what to do and how to live your life. And that's how it is and should be because, young people are learning their way, and it's up to us, the older generations, to kind of help and navigate that and foster that and all that good stuff. So what I love about stuff like this is it's that first chance for these teenagers to kind of flip the role, to go from being the one that's always talked to all the time and the one that's always being taught things to passing down some of their experiences and stuff onto these younger, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids. So that's why I love soccer camps and different camps like this where it's actually the high school kids teaching the younger kids, because it's great for the young kids. They learn the sport. They get to learn the camaraderie, all the fun parts of team sports and sports. But at the same time, it's also a growing moment for these young high school kids that are going to be teaching. And now that, it's different when you live a life where everyone's telling you what to do and how to do it. And then you go from a scenario where now there's people asking you for how to do things.
And you can pass on knowledge.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things, I liken it to like my career, where for a good portion of my career, I was in that learning phase where I was just, learning techniques, trying to figure out who, my, like the way I produce things. And like a lot of people, I've mentioned this several times, but the person who taught me how to produce a commercial was Mike. And I mean, he gave me he gave me the basics. He's trying to show me how to, how to like split things up, work with multi-track and stuff like that, and work with Adobe Audition or Cool Edit. And I've taken that and just kind of built onto that. Yeah. So now I'm in a place, or I have been for the last several years, where I can kind of pass that on to other people and kind of, help create that next generation of people that are passionate about this business. It's the same thing with soccer. It's like you want to find that next generation of people who are going to keep carrying the torch, so to speak.
That's why I love the stuff like this. So if you have any youngins between the age of 5 and 13, boys or girls, sign them up for the camp. Again, July 18th and 19th. It's going to be from 8:30 to 11:30 both mornings. It's going to be at the RHS Girls Soccer Field there, 500 West Hobbs. Registration will be that first day, the 18th, between 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Oh, I didn't do cost, by the way. Cost per camper is $50. It's $40 each if you have 2 or more siblings. So if you do have a couple kids that want to go through there, you can save a few bucks.
Group discount.
Yeah, exactly there. But just got the one there. And, of course, like I said earlier, with all that, you get breakfast and lunch both days for the kids, T-shirt, certificate, and water bottles. Also, they get some swag to go with their knowledge and all the stuff they learn over those 2 days there. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Something to show for it.
Yeah. Imagine the coaches probably watch the players, and when they're teaching them and all that stuff, it's like, is that what I showed you in practice? Show what you showed you.
That, and there's also a little probably mini scouting element to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure these coaches like, take note of that girl. She'll be coming across our. She'll be wearing the red here in a couple years. Let's come on. That's yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. I always love because I always talk with I ask that stuff a lot with the football coaches because usually the football teams they usually do like a summer camp and stuff,
combines, things like that.
And I said, now you guys really teaching these kids stuff, or you just like grooming the next generation? And he goes, why can't I do both? He's like, yeah, but I'm like, I eye on a few of these kids, like, see you in a few years, son. You know,
be a little extra sweet to the kids, make them think, oh, it's gonna be a breeze.
Well, and in all fairness, you know, this is something Roswell schools have to compete against. Is we're a multi-pony town. You know, we got more than one high school here, and they play in districts with towns that have one high school.
Right.
And there is a distinct advantage to that, especially in the sports. I mean, when I'm talking in the sports world here, because you know, you look at Artesia's football program, for instance. It is one of the most storied
and
franchises in the state of high school, and well funded, yes, too. But I really think the key to their success,
community strong.
Well, and the fact that literally those kids that are playing for the varsity team on Friday nights out at the Bulldog Bowl with all the lights and the bells and the whistles, those kids have been learning this system of football since middle school.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like these are 11th and 12th graders. They've been learning this stuff since 6th and 7th grade, maybe even earlier.
Right.
So I think even in the Pop Warner stuff down there, and they start exposing them to the elements of that offense.
Bulldog
and
style,
so they're getting layers of how they do things at the high school level from middle school on, and all the coaches, I mean, are teaching that same. Now, obviously, they don't give them the whole playbook in 6th grade and expect. Basically, they give them the beginning elements there, and then they start feeding in more as they get better and older. And then by the time they get to the varsity level, they've got the full playbook there. They've got the whole deal, and so those kids have been studying. Where kids here, Roswell, Goddard, you know, they don't pick this stuff up till they get to high school.
Right.
You know, they not saying they didn't play football and all that, but they weren't in the same system per se. And that's for anybody that follows sports and watches sports, that's a big difference. When you have one coach teaching that same system and that's what they go through the whole time,
you learn the playbook.
You learn that
pretty
and you're
quick.
good at that. I mean, there is positives and negatives to both ideologies because in essence, what happens when you expose their kids to something different in the football game plan? Are they going to be okay?
Right.
Or are they going to fall apart? Whereas ideally, the kids here are going to be a little bit more adaptable because they played 3 or 4 different systems by the time they get to high school football.
So they've seen a few different things.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But also, if you have just the chance to, this is kind of the argument of you know, learning Adobe Audition and then like 13 other programs. Like, oh, I'm proficient in all of them, but instead I'm baller on one and don't know anything else. You know, it's like I'm amazing on Adobe Audition, but you hand me something else, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. But that's a unique challenge that our coaches and staff and everybody, our schools deal with here. That's a little, you know, and it's different because, we're a big little town, man. We're 50,000. School team areas like Cruces and Albuquerque and all that, they can house those big schools because they've got literally a much bigger base of students to pull from, where we do not. You know, but so that's what makes it. There's a lot of there's other variables and all this stuff too, but you know, when you look at the big picture, why do teams like Artesia continuously keep winning year in and year out? That's a major part of it. Is they have a system that's well established that you really can't do here. Carlsbad tries to do it. Lovington tries to do it. They all have some semblance of what Artesia does. These one school towns like that.
Right.
But they just haven't been doing it for generations like Artesia has. And so they're behind the evolutionary, you know, progress of this. Like Alamogordo's trying to do that over the years, but they, you know, personnel changes. And that's another thing. When you swap out a coach every couple years, that changes the whole system. Well, they've had Cooper Henderson running that thing for 20, 30 plus years. And then it's like, and now they've got the mindset of whoever comes in is like, and let's face it, Cooper Henderson's still the athletic director of Artesia, so he has a lot of say in what goes on there. And well-reasoned, he's earned all that. But he's still his footprint's all over that. And I think I'd be very curious to see when that day comes where he says, you know, I'm done doing this. I'm going to go fishing or whatever he's into.
My theory is he's still going to Vince McMahon it. He's still going to run it like
maybe,
you know, oversee things, make sure the things are.
But I'm wondering
at least transitioned correctly.
Like, I wonder if there's a plan in place where is there someone who's going to be Dominus Ominous anointed to be the next Cooper Henderson, or are they going to are they going to blow it up and change it all and see what happens? I don't know, but I would imagine whatever happens, Cooper Henderson's going to be in the decision-making
sure.
process.
I'm sure they're going to keep it as close to home as possible. I don't see them like reaching out and getting like a college coach or something like that.
Yeah, but it's just a unique, it's a different perspective on things.
What's Nick Saban up to these days?
But
Roll Tide.
It's just it's just kind of interesting just to see that, and I've learned all this because of radio, because now I see behind the scenes of what goes on in the coaches' rooms, and talking to the various coaches throughout this region and the state over the years, and how the football programs go, and it's very interesting. But anyway, my point was go out to the soccer camp. It looks pretty cool, and I think kids will have a lot of fun doing it.
Oh yeah.
So it's 8:40. Let's go ahead and pause for some news. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll chit chat and finish out the hour here. Don't go away. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news and commercial break. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin today with a traffic alert in Roswell. The next phase of a street improvement project on West McGaffey Street is scheduled to begin on Monday. McGaffey will be closed from just east of South Union Avenue to Sunset Avenue, and that includes the intersection of McGaffey and Union. The closure will take place every day during the daytime, and the street will be reopened during the nighttime. The project on this section of street is scheduled to last all week. Motorists are reminded to be aware of traffic control and the detour signs. Eddy County Manager Alan Davis confirming to commissioners this week that an industrial revenue bond granted to Houston-based Summit Midstream Partners has been paid off 25 years early. The bonds were granted so the company could buy land and build their natural gas plant. Well, the agreement was scheduled to end in 2047, but Davis told commissioners the entire bill was paid off last month. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms will be possible for the afternoon. Otherwise, we get a mix of sunshine and clouds today, warming into the upper 90s. Maybe an isolated shower this evening, and then just a few clouds overnight with low 70s. Sunny and hot again on Saturday. We're in the upper 90s, but that slight chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Sunny and 100 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. After massive hiring sprees for a year and a half to meet surging shopper demand, America's retailers are starting to scale back their recruiting. The changing mindset comes as companies confront a pullback in consumer spending, prospect of an economic downturn, and surging labor costs. Some analysts suggest that merchants have also learned to do more with fewer workers. The nation's top employer, Walmart, said it recently overhired because of a COVID-related staffing shortage, and then reduced its headcount through attrition. In April, Amazon said it too had decided that it had an excess of workers in its warehouses. Amazon's plans to put a regional cargo hub at Newark Liberty International Airport have been scrubbed. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the airport's operator, said in a statement Thursday that negotiations over the past year have failed to produce an agreement. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Imagine pool water that is extremely soft and gentle on hair, skin, and eyes. Soft Swim is a chlorine-free sanitizing system by BioGuard. Simple and easy, Soft Swim will give you a crystal clear pool that feels luxuriously soft. Your pool might just become the destination of the entire neighborhood. Application is a breeze, no mixing, no pre-dissolving, and routine maintenance is simple. Come to Mays Lumber Company today, the only dealer for Soft Swim by BioGuard.
You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
One of the best things about summertime in New Mexico is all the great places to go and neat things to do. Camping in the mountains, swimming at the lake, exploring the caverns, and so much more. And what makes all this fun and adventure possible is a dependable car or truck that fits your family and hauls your toys. That's just what you'll find at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of nearly new cars, trucks, and SUVs in southeastern New Mexico. They've all survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee to make sure you're happy. You know Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot and give you a week to think about it. This summer isn't going to last forever, so make the most of it with an upgraded ride from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford at the corner of 9th and Main, the official sponsor of Summer Fun.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
In times of uncertainty, one thing seems to be constant. Crime tends to rise. Zenith Security Services, a locally owned company that's invested in our community, reminds you that for less than 5 quarters a day, you can be proactive in protecting your home, family, and assets with a monitored alarm from a top UL-rated company. The hardest calls we receive at Zenith Security are those needing our services after the fact. Call Zenith Security Services at 575-626-3521 to schedule your free security assessment today.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 46 minutes after 8 o'clock. Hey, we're going to talk more about this next hour, but tomorrow, the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico is having their historic book fair. That's going to be tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. to noon. It'll be happening at the Historical Society's archive building, which is at 208 North Lee. It'll be a book fair and book launch. And this is the cool part, is what they do at this event. We'll talk more about it next hour. Is they all the books. People donate books, rare, out of print, historic books. Most of them dealing with the local area in southeast New Mexico, but these. So we get people that donate them, and sometimes we get more than one copy of the book there at the archive facility, and so when that happens, we don't want to take our limited space and fill it up with 10 copies of the same thing. So when those get queued here, they have these historic book fairs. And so they're going to be having one tomorrow. Now, don't worry. They always keep, because some people get, what do you mean? We donate these books? And we keep the best copy for the Historical Society. So and he'll cannibalize copies too. John will, and we'll talk about this next hour, but he'll take, say he'll get 2 copies of the same book. One's the better quality, better book. It's in better shape, but the other one's got a cleaner dust jacket. So he'll take the dust jacket off that one and put it on the other one, and then put the other book together and then sell it at the book fairs like this. So they keep the best for the Historical Society for preservation and to allow future generations to have access to it. But when they do get the extras, they give an opportunity for the public to purchase some of these items. Usually it's pretty cheap cost-wise. But here's the thing. We take that money and it goes back into the programs of the Historical Society. We use it to, when you see the Sunday Fun Days, when those happen, or when any of our various events and things happen, that's what they use that for. Fixing, old roofs and things like that on a historic building. That's part of it too. But anyway, so they take that money and do that. So relax. It's not like you give them stuff and they say, we're just going to sell it. They keep the good stuff for them, and then but if there's extras, doubles, things like that, then they sell them.
Any copies of the Choose cookbook?
That's a hard ticket.
I know.
That one is, I don't know if there's, I'll ask John this time, but I think the last few we had, we finally, people have taken them. I don't think there's many left. We don't think we have any left. I don't know for sure.
I feel like that's something that should go through like maybe some type of reprint.
Well,
as popular as that
the
book's
Chew
been.
family, I
I'm
guess.
Just saying, if you guys ever want to cash in again.
Yeah, it's that is a highly coveted book. And we had some. I don't know if there's any. Well, I'll ask John here next, but inquire at the event, and because I think there is a group of people that have still not been able to get one,
right?
That are on the hunt. So I think there's like a waiting list actually. So, but anyway, they also do they'll be doing the grab bag sale where you can get the mystery books and get the little. It's really cool. Everyone's guaranteed to deal. But also, John LeMay and Donna Blake Burchell, who are both join us on the show next hour, they'll be promoting their latest books. Donna's got a children's book called The Ghostly Tales of New Mexico.
Pretty cool.
So that should be pretty good. She's got a lot of other great books. Wicked Women is one of her more popular ones of Southeast New Mexico. And then, of course, John LeMay's newest book, the noted desperado Pancho Dumes, The Real-Life Theft of Billy the Kid's Tombstone, which actually I got a copy right over there. That's that book. But so they'll be there signing books, talk with the authors, the whole thing. For more information, contact the Historical Society 622-8333 or visit roswellnmhistory.org, and you can buy, like in there you can go and buy some of John's other books, Donna's other books, Peter Hurd prints, all kinds of stuff.
I like the fact that Donna's book is a children's book. See, because I'm what the kids refer to these days as a smooth brain.
Smooth brain?
Smooth brain.
Okay.
Simple. Not a lot of
I've never heard that term.
Never heard that
brain.
smooth brain. It's because they say when you learn something that you put a new pathway in your brain.
Okay.
If you're smooth brained, you don't really know anything.
There's not a lot of paths.
So her book is actually a great, kind of like almost like a roadmap.
Okay.
For if you think about it, for a really fun weekend here in New Mexico, you could load the family up in the car. New Mexico is one of those states that has just a ton of fascinating things right here within our bounds. And one of them is awesome ghost towns. We have a ton of really, really cool, just completely abandoned places.
Yeah. We got cool abandoned places.
For a certain, there's a certain level of appeal to that. Like, like what occurred, what thing went down to make it to where this once, hotbed of activity is now just nothing.
You know what always gets me? Like the ultimate, I don't know if you creepy nostalgic thing. Like to me, coming out here in the West, not growing up here. I grew up in Maryland, East Coast, and all that. So I grew up in a different place.
The founders.
But living here and coming out to New Mexico and being here for 20 plus years, one of the things that I'm fascinated and creeped out by is when, like in the 40s and 50s, where there's towns or there's landmarks in this state or Arizona that were big draws in the 50s. Places like towns or something, and they just had, or an attraction that they may have tried to do in the 50s, some amusement park or some gathering place of some kind, theater or something, whatever it is. But I don't know, when they get abandoned and left, some of that 60s, 50s modern look that they thought the future would look like, kind of like Tomorrowland at Disney World. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that with like a caked layer of like dirt and then like the cobweb, there's something very off-putting about that.
Yeah, but weirdly fascinating too.
I literally, before I came to work this morning, I had put something on YouTube, and it was talking about there was a water park that there was a family that owned a farm. It was like 110 miles like west of Vegas.
Okay.
Or it was somewhere between Vegas and LA. Just a patch of desert. This guy started a farm that he couldn't really grow anything on. And eventually he created I think he named it after his wife. It was a series of 3 lakes he called Lake Doris.
Okay.
But one lake was for fishing, one lake was for swimming, and the other one was for boating or something like that, for recreation. Anyways.
Okay.
Eventually that turned into a water park. He created like a water park that was like, it was kind of like, what's that Action Point, that one from upstate New York or whatever?
Okay.
It was kind of like that, but in the West. Like
Okay.
they had these giant metal trough slides that were like, in some cases they were stand-up slides. You were supposed to stand and like ride them down.
Okay.
But, we're talking like steel and stuff.
Yeah.
Something ended up happening. I think it was like somebody rode the thing too far and crashed into a concrete barrier, ended up paralyzing him, got like a $4 million suit from the thing, and they could never
closed
financially
down, yeah.
recover. Yeah. So, but yeah, now somewhere in the middle of nowhere, there's like all the slides and stuff have been stripped away, but there's like a building and a few of those like chute slides, like the ones I'm trying, like kind of like an Action Point, those ones where you get in a little cart and you ride down there's some of those, and I guess it's all graffitied up, and like skaters go out there and we'll bomb the half pipes or whatever.
Okay.
So that's like the new thing, but it's super creepy looking.
I imagine. Yeah.
Just kind of out jutted in the middle of the desert.
Whoever thought it was a good idea to make reflective metal slides?
Right?
That was the worst idea ever.
Shiny steel. Let's put that in the direct sunlight.
Because when you're talking about this slide, that's all I can think of.
When kids are usually wearing shorts.
Yes. Yeah, we all know the burn. Well, some of us certain
Any
ages.
kid who's ever played in Dexter knows that burn.
Until finally someone said, maybe we shouldn't put these in playgrounds
They're
anymore.
still there. That's the thing.
It's like the rocket slide here, the nostalgic rocket slide that everyone loves and stuff. And now they're going to give it a new home for art purposes.
Yeah. Well,
as a functioning slide, it's a death trap.
Yeah, but they opened the new slide now, the new rocket. So
yeah.
So,
but I remember the old rocket. I remember taking, my sisters and various other youth there. I've even climbed up in the thing because, I'm a child at heart, and I was like, I'll go up there with you, sure. And because it was a cool slide. It's a cool looking slide, and we didn't have anything like that as a kid where we were at. So I was like, it's pretty cool, nostalgic. And so I remember seeing it, but I was thinking, oh yeah, it's got the big wide metal slide. I'm sure many a kid had second-degree burns going on this thing.
I can hear the sound of thigh meat sliding on sheet metal. That I can hear that sound in my head. It's like ingrained. The playground at the school at my elementary school growing up, we had 3 slides. It was a blue, a yellow, and a red. And the red one was massive. This thing was huge. There was no reason for any of these to be there. But the thing I remember was at the end of the red slide, there was a sticker bush that nobody ever bothered to do anything about.
Right.
But they were like, it builds character. It's fine. Yeah. That just seemed cruel.
Our playground at our elementary school had, of course, they had monkey bars, all the things, but they had the swing sets, and they were tall swing sets.
Yeah,
like they were. Now again, this is elementary school, so I'm sure it's a lot bigger than it really was.
I was gonna say you were a lot shorter than you are now. But,
was I? But they appeared to be very big to me. I'm sure if I go see them today, I'm like, that's what they are.
Right.
But in my head, they're big. And that was the whole thing, swinging and then launching yourself off said slide.
See how far you could get.
But those were so big that I was literally like 10 feet in the air when you release and then drop down into, back then, they used little baby rock pellets. And that was those rocks. And so you fell into that thing of rocks.
Almost like kind of gravelly. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were round and they weren't like sharp rocks.
Right.
So it was a dull ache when you fell into them, but there was some give.
Wood chips was always made me laugh.
Yeah, wood chips was the next evolution.
Down wood chip. That's okay. Good. No, let's just add some splinters.
Yeah. The wood chips. I think in the evolutionary scale, the rocks were right before the wood chips. In the scale of what we put around playgrounds to not kill kids.
And now it's like now it's tires. And
well,
stuff.
now they got that
thick rubber foam.
Probably whatever something or another foam stuff.
Kids don't even understand, man.
Yeah.
We had to struggle for our fun.
They basically put padded rooms around playgrounds now, so
it's why we enjoyed our fun so much worse because we had to work for it.
Yeah, we had an element of way more danger.
That's right.
All right, stay tuned next hour. Like I said, we're going to talk with the folks in the Historical Society about the book fair this Saturday, talk about their books and all that good stuff. There's something else I was going to mention. I just completely spaced out about it. Oh, well, maybe it'll come to me a little bit later.
He's just going to be sitting in the office there. Foxy boxing! It was foxy boxing! Oh, it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. There is something that kind of, whoever was filling in for Hannity yesterday, he got in a conversation. They started talking about which is better, what are your favorite, Godfather or Goodfellas, because when Khan died.
Oh, yeah.
And they were talking about, and I agree with what they say, but both of them slept on a great gangster movie, Donnie Brasco. That is the most slept on gangster movie, I think, in that it's a great movie, but doesn't get the love that Goodfellas and all those get. But it's, to me, equally as good. But anyway, that's my thought. All right, it is 9 o'clock. We'll be back after news.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Japan is mourning the loss of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, the 67-year-old, assassinated while delivering a political speech in Western Japan. The BBC's Rupert Wingfield-Hayes in Tokyo says Abe left his mark on the people and the country he served.
Mr. Abe is a historical figure. He served the longest term of any post-war Prime Minister, serving from 2012 until 2020. He led the country out of the huge tsunami, earthquake disaster and nuclear disaster that happened here in 2011. And he was a major world figure, bringing Japan back into things like a stronger alliance with the United States, moving Japan more away from its pacifist constitution.
A 42-year-old suspect is in custody. A reaction to the shocking news coming in from around the globe. The White House has issued a statement of shock and sadness, and former President Trump is calling it absolutely devastating news. While U.S. employers hired 372,000 people last month, exceeding analyst expectations, Akash Chogali with the Americans for Prosperity Group says that Americans, even those with jobs, are still struggling.
While earnings are up, people are still down year over year when you add in inflation. So, the overall compensation to inflation is still down. Inflation is still a major, major concern.
Chogali also notes a decline in the labor force participation rate, the unemployment rate holding steady at 3.6%. The testimony will take place behind closed doors. Former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone will go before the House January 6th committee later today. On Wall Street, stocks in positive territory now. The Dow is up 59 points, the Nasdaq ahead 9, and the S&P 3 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999.
China's capital, Beijing, appears to be backing away from a vaccine mandate announced by authorities only 2 days ago. It would mandate vaccination for access to certain public venues, including gyms, museums, and libraries, starting next week. However, the rule has sparked intense public debate as city dwellers worry about how the sudden policy announcement will upend their lives. While not explicitly saying that the plan had been dropped, one city official suggests that some modifications are on the way, saying that people could enter certain areas with a negative test result and a temperature check, as has been the routine in recent weeks. Portugal's government has declared an 8-day state of emergency due to a heightened risk of wildfires. The drought-stricken country is bracing for a heat wave with temperatures as high as 109 degrees. News and analysis at townhall.com. Senate Democrats looking to hike taxes on some Americans to shore up Medicare.
Aides to Senate Democrats tell the AP that the senators are working on a tax bill targeting individuals who make $400,000 a year and couples who make $500,000 or more each year. The proposal could generate $203 billion over a 10-year period to delay a Medicare trust fund shortfall. Another measure is aimed at lowering prescription drug costs, including deductible limits and requiring Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Both signs that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and West Virginia's Joe Manchin could be edging closer to a compromise on a scaled-back version of the economic plan that collapsed last year. Tim McGuire, Washington.
Gas prices continuing to edge lower, down about 3 cents this morning. AAA has a national average for regular, $4.72 a gallon. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. We finally made it.
Yes.
I'm tired.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. Yeah, but it hasn't. It's been a short week.
It has, well, for a short week.
It's been a long week, but it's only been a 4-day week.
Because we're all still recovering from the mile-long, poop pipe that we had to walk through that was last weekend. We got Shawshank, man. We were tired.
That's true. We had a busy week, so I think maybe that's it. But we made it to Friday.
Came out
Friday,
clean on the other side.
That's right. Zinmatandejo.
Zewatandejo.
Yeah, that's it. Ever go? Is that like a vacation destination now? Because of Shawshank Redemption?
I don't even know if it's a real place.
I don't know either.
I mean, I assume it would be. But
I don't know if there's some place it's in Mexico, right?
The Zewatandejo Tourist Board would like to please ask people to stop visiting their beaches and sitting, crying.
Yeah.
It's getting a little depressing. It's basically, they become the old lady's house from Breaking Bad.
People keep throwing pizzas up on them.
Throwing pizzas.
That's possible. But yeah, welcome to Friday. You finally made it. Big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every single Friday. Provide us with delicious breakfast treats. Hook us up with some delicious foods for guests and staff and everybody. We do appreciate that. We eat well every Friday thanks to the fine folks at McDonald's. Except me today, because I got to go do lab work after this.
I haven't even broken into the biscuits and gravy yet. I'm letting it age like a fine wine. Everybody knows that McDonald's gravy it ages like fine wine.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
See, I think I lean more hot.
Actually, in
gravies.
In my my pantry, I have a cask of 1987.
Yeah,
it was a good year.
Gravy does not sit well cold.
it tends to coagulate.
Yeah, it's gravy's not a cold food friend.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessarily the most palatable.
Yeah.
But
like certain foods you can ride out cold, you know, like pizza, I would argue fast food in general.
Yeah.
You can eat it cold and it tastes just fine. But gravies, not so much.
It depends on how thick you like your gravy.
Well, I like my gravy to be a liquid. or liquid like, you know, and it starts turning into a gel.
Oh, so just because you don't like to chew back your gravy, Mr. Fancy Pants over here.
I do like hunks of things, like giblet gravy or whatever.
Then you got to let your gravy age. You get nothing but hunks of things.
Sausage gravy, I like hunks of there. But, you know, I like the gravy to be liquefied.
Yeah. Sure, fine.
Now,
there's always a microwave.
Yes, and that's what, you know, technology allows me to do.
God bless it.
But then there's a too much like gravy can't be too thin.
I would agree.
Because then it turns into then you can't hold on to it. Like you try to like put it on mashed taters, but you can't scoop it up because it's so thin it just runs right off. Like if you need a spoon, that's too much.
I would argue that there's
then you're going into soup territory.
Another place we can't mention whose gravy is the best gravy in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. The place with the 3 letters. Their gravy is, I think, the perfect consistency.
Okay.
Not too thin, not too thick. Goes great on some mashed potatoes.
All they got to do is find mashed potatoes at that place. Those are, I know of which you speak.
Mm-hmm.
Those should be arrested for posing as mashed potatoes.
I think you're a little bougie.
No, I'm not. I would rather eat school cafeteria mashed potatoes
too.
over those.
Cafeteria mashed potatoes were the best.
They're garbage. They taste like paper. They taste like the box they come in.
I was raised on commodities. Maybe
There's a reason why you have to put copious amounts of that good gravy on those garbage potatoes.
Well, yeah, but those potatoes are just a vehicle to get that good gravy into my mouth.
Oh, you know what? There's so many better tasting things to get that vehicle of the gravy into my mouth.
That's true.
It ain't those potatoes.
I would say this. Go to that place, get yourself a nice serving of the gravy, then head over to your local McDonald's. Get yourself a large fry. That. You're making poutine at that point.
Oh, yeah, you got some poutine.
That's right.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
We're getting fancy with it.
That'd be a good idea. But thank you to McDonald's. Thank you for hooking us up. Download the app. Utilize it today. Let me give you the rundown here. We're going to have John LeMay and Donna Blake Birchall join us via the tele. Donna. John's here in studio.
We got a teledonna in here? That's awesome.
We're going to be talking about the big historic book fair happening tomorrow at the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. That's going to be from 10 to noon. I was going to say 9 to noon, 10 to noon. 10 to noon tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Talk about the latest books for John and Donna. And then they'll be there, of course, signing and talking books and all that, too. And then I think we're going to have the folks from Roswell Medical join us in the back half of the hour, get an update from them, talk about some of their stuff that they've got going on, too. So we'll do that later on this hour. And then whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms will be possible for the afternoon. Otherwise, we get a mix into the upper 90s. Maybe an isolated shower this evening and then just a few clouds overnight with low 70s. Sunny and hot again on Saturday. We're in the upper 90s, but that slight chance of a late day shower or thunderstorm. Sunny and 100 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64%. Winds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. You know what? This is old. I'm going to refresh this. I just saw that the time on that. There we go. Now it's up to a balmy 78 with winds out of the north at 9. We do have a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Partly cloudy with a high of 98 and east winds 5 to 10. 30% chance of rain tonight. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 73. South winds 5 to 15. 20% chance of rain Saturday. Mostly sunny, hot, high of 98. Winds will be out of the northwest 5 to 10. And then looking at the Saturday night, that's when they stop the rain chances for a day or two. Partly cloudy, 73 for an overnight low. Southeast winds 5 miles per hour. Sunday, no talk of rain, just sunny, hot, high of 99. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10. And then Monday, when you head back to it, sunny and hot 102. And then Monday night, and it looks like for a good hunk of next week, then rain chances. Back to the monsoon, 20% chance of afternoon showers, thunderstorms, that kind of deal. All right, it is 9:13. We're going to take a 3-minute break. And then we'll have John LeMay and Donna Blake Birchall join us on the other side, talking Historical Society and book fairs and all that good stuff. That's coming up next. Don't go away.
When I was in junior high, my favorite TV show was The A-Team. Deep down, I always wanted to be as tough as Mr. T. A line that appeared in probably every episode was this one.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Even as a 12-year-old boy, I was a planner. While other kids were dreaming of being baseball pitchers, quarterbacks, or rock stars, I was planning my next steps of where to go to grad school. I still have a plan for my life. Everything arranged just right from today until I'm 82. I need to be careful about my planning, though, because James says that life is like a vapor, and what matters most in life isn't necessarily my plan, but God's will. It's not that God is against planning. He talks about it often in Scripture. What he wants me to be careful about is presuming about tomorrow. When I presume about tomorrow, I put off some things that I need to be doing today, things that align with the will of God. I have tomorrow planned out, but I don't really know what tomorrow holds. Maybe it's time to make the most of today.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road. Up your spotting game with the help of Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Zia Guns USA is now an authorized full-line Tacticam dealer. The same scopes, cameras, and spotting equipment that the big boys use on TV. So now you can capture your hunt like never before. Zia Guns USA in Roswell also has a new shipment of knives by Benchmade and Case. Come check out the amazing selection for yourself. Take your hunt to the next level with Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Closed on Saturdays but open on Sundays at 1907 North Main in Roswell.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us on in studio is John LeMay, and then joining us on the phone this morning is Donna Blake Burchell, both authors and getting ready to storm the Historical Society on Saturday morning. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Good
morning. Doing great.
Good, Donna. Are you down in Carlsbad this morning, or are you off at some other part of the state doing stuff?
No, I'm still in Carlsbad right now.
Okay. I don't know if you're off on an adventure or doing anything like that. Because for folks that don't know, when she's not authoring, she's out adventuring to make the next thing she's authoring. So, which is really cool. Of course, John's equally in both of these two. You know what? This is the joke I use. Donna Blake Burchell is the John LeMay of Eddy County, and John LeMay is the Donna Blake Burchell of Chavez County. Yeah. That's a good comparison, right?
Oh, yeah. Donna's
I'll
much
take
more,
that one.
She's way more ambitious than I am, though, because she actually drives out to these places, and most of mine I've never even been to.
He's like, I've never been there. Billy who? Yeah. That's funny. But, of course, for folks that aren't familiar, both John and Donna have quite extensive libraries of books, many of them dealing with Southeast New Mexico and stories from there. John, a lot of his stories focus on some of the Lincoln County stuff, Lincoln County Wars, Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid, some of the side characters for some of the Lincoln County Wars. Matter of fact, his latest book is one of those side characters, actually. And then Donna she covers everything from ghost stories to wicked women to just various little-known places and adventures around southeast New Mexico. So between the two, they kind of cover it all from a historical angle here, I think. But we would love to invite everybody out. So to the book fair tomorrow. Now, I'll let John. I've already explained it once or twice, but I'll let John kind of explain what's going on at the book fair tomorrow.
Yeah. So our first book fair was a big success.
Yeah.
And what happened after that was people started donating books to us with the knowledge that we'll take the books that we don't have, put them on our shelves, and the duplicates we will sell.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the books from this recent sale we're going to have tomorrow are basically all new acquisitions that people have given us over the past 3 or 4 months.
So these are kind of ones that people gave us the intent saying, look, if you got a copy, these are here to help raise money for the Historical Society.
Exactly. And
cool.
I say that just because certain people like to make claims that we're going through our library and selling valuable books when we're not.
Yeah. The only ones, I mean, don't get me wrong, some of these books are valuable.
Yeah.
But trust us, we've got it covered. Don't worry, the Historical Society keeps the best copy of the book in the archives for preservation and for future generations. These are extras. Now, don't get me wrong. The archive facility's got a lot of space and a lot of areas where they're hiding and keeping treasures. But there's only so much room. And so if you've got a dozen copies of a book, and then you got another dozen copies of another book, that's going to eat up a lot of space that, quite frankly, is just not available there at the Historical Society.
Yeah, Dr. Huckabee and I yesterday were actually just talking about that, saying we need another bookshelf because we're getting way too many books.
Yeah, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
This is a great thing. But there's no point in the Historical Society keeping half a dozen copies of a book.
Yeah.
They just need the one. And John, he keeps the good stuff for the Historical Society. So if he gets 3 copies of a book, he'll take the one that's got like the best spine and everything gets in best shape. Keep that. But if the other book's got, say, a better dust jacket, then guess what? He's taking the dust jacket off that one, putting it on the spine of this one, and keeping the best all the assets on that book. And then he'll put together the other books and make them available at this auction tomorrow.
Yeah.
But so don't worry. The Historical Society is not giving away the farm. It is not, in all essence, they're keeping the good stuff and giving you guys the leftovers. That's what it's going on tomorrow. But it's a good thing. Now, that doesn't make it sound, don't take it like the bad connotation, like you're getting the leavings off the floor. It's some really cool stuff. It's just the Historical Society's got it already. So that's basically what it is.
And speaking of leftovers, we have books that didn't sell at the last sale. So the good news is like if you missed that last sale, those books are now discounted because they didn't sell. So the prices are going to be even lower this time.
Nice. Now, if you're going to hold out for a third time, you may not make it. So if you see it this time, pick it up while the picking's good. Just saying. Don't be like, well, maybe it'll be around next time. Well, maybe it won't. Then you're out of luck. Are you guys doing the mystery bags and all that stuff this time?
We will, yeah. We've got a $5 mystery bag. You get 3 books. You don't know what they are, plus a little tiny Peter Hurd print.
Excellent. And so every time you pay for that, you get a guaranteed value there.
Yeah.
And know that you're helping out the Historical Society. So if you want a little fun there and do that, and you can pick that up. I know we've talked about in the past, you guys have also had books that aren't necessarily valuable. They're just old. And for people that like to have books for like decorative on shelves, do you guys have plenty of that for this sale, or is there less of that this time?
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I didn't put those out this time.
Okay.
It's mostly what we have in excess besides the New Mexico history books that everybody wants. Is we have some just general U.S. history books.
Okay.
And that kind of is what took up most of the table space.
Okay.
But if you are interested in, like, let's say buying those old books for the covers in bulk, just ask us about it, and we can run upstairs and get them. And make a deal,
so if someone specific will get you. So if you are looking for that, just talk to John or Donna or any of the people that'll be there. Those two might be busy engaging with folks, but some of the other folks will be there to help out. To help out with that. And of course, the other cool part is Donna and John will both be here, both signing the latest books and all of their books if you bring them there to them. Will your other books be available for sale at the book fair too? Or just your new ones?
Amy broke out every single book that Donna and I have ever written that's in stock in the gift shop, so it'll be there. But Donna and I are mostly going to promote our newest books, which are unusual in that both of these new books are geared more towards younger readers.
Very good. Yeah. Now, of course, Donna's latest book is the Ghostly Tales of New Mexico. It's a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Donna, tell folks the inspiration behind this latest book.
Well, actually, it's an adaptation of my ghostly or haunted hotels book.
Okay.
And the Arcadia Publishing came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to do this adaptation?" And I thought, well, that'd be great. I wasn't sure on how this would go around and do it, but we.
You still there, Donna?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there you
go. And so anyway, they put together this little book for children, and it's a great mix of stories and also of history. And they've taken my stories and they've made it so that the little ones can read it, and it's a great companion to the adult books as well.
I would imagine too is like you say. Great, the companion to the old books. I would even argue that some adults that might get their foot in the door through the children's book. You know what I'm saying? And they might,
Absolutely.
so they're kind of come because once you, and then you can kind of, because obviously for kids, you kind of, the details and some of the information scaled way back for a children's level. But if there's some adults that, sometimes they get into history books and they get lost in the details and maybe they learn some of these stories at the children's book level. And then the ones that kind of caught their interest here, they can do a little bit more digging through some of your books geared more towards adult readers. So
true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So I'm curious with the ghost story books. Was that something you're into, or is that something that got put onto your radar and it just got into it? Because you kind of, like you said, you've got where John's got his little niche with Godzilla and stuff like that. Yours is kind of in the ghosts and all that kind of stuff, right?
I do enjoy them. It seems to be going that direction. I had a couple of encounters along the way, and it got me to thinking, and it got me pretty interested in it to see if anybody else has had this kind of thing happen.
So have you had some what we would call paranormal experiences while you're out investigating or researching?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what started the Haunted Hotels book.
Okay.
When I was working at the library in Carlsbad, I went up to Las Vegas, New Mexico, and stayed at the Plaza Hotel.
Yes, the notoriously, famously haunting hotel in New Mexico. Yeah.
Right. So I thought, well, I had done a little bit of reading, of course, and I thought, well, I'm going to test this out. And they say that the ghost likes to pick on women who travel by themselves, and I was at the time. And then he especially liked red-haired women. So at the time, I was redheaded.
So you were fetching. This paranormal was fetching. Find you quite fetching.
Well, I don't know about that. But that evening, when I got into the room, I always felt like something was watching me.
Yeah.
And that was unsettling. But I thought, well, I'm just making this up because it's just something I read.
Sure. Yeah, our minds easily play tricks on us, but I don't know. Our guts and intuition tell us so much sometimes that we don't even realize. You know what I mean? Like our guts and stuff tell us things, and I think it's one of those things. Like even if we're not aware, cognizant in the brain, call it what you will. God, spiritual. I don't know. There's something out there that you just can't figure out yet. We haven't figured it out, and to me, that's what I love, because I'm one of those folks that when I see the paranormal shows, I believe all that's possible and all that. Now, some of the shows on TV out there, I'm not sure if I buy. I think there's a lot of staging and a lot of theatrics done there. But that I still believe that stuff exists. Like I still believe people go into these places and capture a voice or a cold spots and feelings in rooms that have no business having cold spots, things like that. Something's out there, something's going on, and I don't get many times where people have experienced it firsthand. I always see it through a third medium here. So it's great for you yourself having these personal experiences. To me, it lends credence to it. It's like, oh yeah, see, there's someone you trust that's actually felt the oogies and or felt the things which we see on a TV show sometimes. So to me, that makes it cooler for me to like have someone experience it a little bit. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So I imagine for you to experience it firsthand, whatever skepticism you may had probably went away pretty quick once when firsthand something's chill up the spine or a voice that captures or whatever that you come across. So.
Yes, it went away very quickly.
Yeah.
And then the terror set in.
So I'm curious now, has it have expanded your interest to do more investigative type stuff, or are you sticking with just the research?
I'm doing research.
Okay.
I don't see myself as a medium or anything like that.
Okay.
I just, I feel like I may be sensitive to this kind of thing.
Okay.
And I feel things, but that's about it.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say.
I didn't know if you were going to try to
I'm
collect evidence or anything and get out there with your DAT recorders and the 7-layer videos or whatever, the heat sensitive, all the magic tricks they use to try to capture paranormal stuff on recordings. So
no.
Although, if I were you, I'd at least turn your phone on while you're walking around these places. Turn your recorder on. You never know what you pick up on that thing, just to see, while you're walking around exploring it. I don't know how many times I've watched like some of those shows and they just have the recorder on and they ask questions and they don't hear nothing. Then they go back and listen and they'll pick up a voice or something like that. You never know. You might find something weird sometimes just doing that.
That's true. Very true. I've been in some weird places, so.
So okay, for the latest book, The Ghostly Tales of New Mexico, I obviously I don't want you to tell the whole story here, but I do want you to share like one of the nuggets from the book, or one of the highlights of one of the stories in the book.
Well, one of them is from Carlsbad, the Trinity Hotel here in Carlsbad. Used to be the First National Bank building. It was one of the first buildings built in Carlsbad in 1892.
It's a beautiful facility.
It is. It's gorgeous. And then it was it held the newspaper for quite a few years, and also the CID building, which is the Carlsbad Irrigation District building, which is where Pat Garrett had his office, and also Charles Eddy and them.
Okay.
But it kind of went derelict for a little while, and we had a family come in, the Balzanos, that came in and they revamped it totally, spent millions on it, had to go through hoops and everything to get it done. And I was so thankful because there had been talk about knocking it down with, that would have been awful.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not a historical landmark registered and all that stuff. Oh, it is now. Okay, good.
Yes. And that's going to stay that way.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere for a while. Barring a natural disaster, it's not going anywhere. Yeah.
Right. And apparently, one of the ladies that worked in the second floor of the irrigation department, her office was on the second floor, and she was very possessive of her space, of her office. This was hers. And so when they remodeled, they made them into some beautiful hotel rooms, and she still sticks around. Recently, they had a patron come down to the front desk and ask, well, we really need some more towels. And, well, I thought we had towels in there, but they're on the top of the window. Now, those windows are 12 to 14 feet tall.
Whoa. So it's
And,
not an
they
easy
said-
feat to just throw them up there.
right. And so they had to get a ladder to get down these towels down. And she has a tendency, her name is Ruby. They brought in a paranormal group from Arizona, and they identified her as Ruby. And she hides in a storage facility up on the second floor, up where in the dining area.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a tendency of not liking women for some reason. I don't know. Rumors that she was shot by a woman. There's all sorts of stuff going on. But she has pushed people down those stairs. Those poor girls have to go up and down those stairs to bring food to people. And then she's talked to, yelled their name. She's turned down music. She's kind of a little imp.
She's a little interesting.
Yeah. And she just, she's very protective of children. And then there's another one called the glass breaker. And he has a tendency of just knocking an entire shelf of glass off onto the floor sometimes when he gets upset. So yeah, it's fun. I'd like to do a book about other things besides, just hotels.
Sure.
The ghost stories that we have in there, because we've got a ton.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, and I would imagine I would guess, depending on the facility, the nature of some of the people that still reside there might be different. Like if you go to an old hospital or an old, any place where bad things happen, like maybe a jail or a prison, I imagine you're going to get a whole different set of things than you would, say, at a house or a hotel, unless something tragic happened there. You know what I mean? Right. And then you wonder, too, and this is where I don't know where this, a lot of times these haunted places, it's because some kind of major event happened there, and then some argue it's like an energy impression. Others saying no, it's a no, that's a living, breathing, interacting thing we're talking. Well, I say breathing, but interactive type thing. But and there's debates on all that. Maybe there's both out there where like sometimes you go and you hear voices and things, but what you're actually hearing is almost like a loop in the energy, so to speak, where you're almost catching a conversation from 200 years ago that took place here. You know what I mean? So you get some of that going on in that world, and then some, like you said, people that are spirits that interact. They talk to you. They do things and do stuff. So it's very, very fascinating for some of this stuff, and we don't know the answers, but I think there's enough evidence to say something's there. It's not all hype and smoke and mirrors. There's something there, whether this is a thing where they're just looking for the light and haven't found the light yet, or if it's maybe they're in their version of hell. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but I think it's cool because of the hit. Like we talk, and then now I know we're just talking, and we got to get to talk to John here, but it's two different things, paranormal and history, but one can't have the other without, you know what I mean? You can't do paranormal without studying the history of why it's paranormal, and then on the other side, how much history do we discover because of paranormal? You know what I mean? How much of it, like, why is this haunted? Then you do your digging. Oh, that's because of all this history of this place. So I think one needs the other sometimes to succeed.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
All right, John's been sitting here waiting quietly. We got to give him a chance to talk.
I'm on all the time.
He is, but I do want to give him a chance. Now, and Sean actually talked to John last time when he was in promoting his book, but his latest book is called The Noted Desperado Pancho Dumas, and this is so basically is this the story of the guy that stole the Powell's tombstone?
No,
or is it?
So not exactly. I mean, the tombstone really did get stolen twice, but he's a fictional character I just made up.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it is based. It's kind of like what Clive Cussler does with his Dirt Pit novels.
Okay.
Takes real historical mysteries.
So this is all novel form.
Yeah.
This is it's fiction based on history.
Yeah, so you'll still learn history as you read it. It's
Well, I love stories told in this way. I've always been a Mark, I don't know if a Mark's a fan of, that would be the more, because he's not trying to dupe me. It's just, do you know Michael Shahara and Jeff Shahara? Michael was famous for writing the book The Killer Angels. He got the Pulitzer Prize. That got turned into the Gettysburg movie that Ted Turner did in the 90s there, if you remember. But so he wrote that. He also won a Pulitzer for a baseball book and things like that. But when he died and that movie kind of got resurgence there in the 90s, his son Michael picked up the baton, and he actually wrote a prequel to Killer Angels called Gods and Generals, which they made a movie that did bad. And because it did so bad, it didn't get the third book, which was Last Full Measure, which covered everything after Gettysburg. But the reason I bring these up is they tell the story of the Civil War, the battles there, but it's all through fictional dialogue between historical characters. So the dialogue between General Lee and General Longstreet, it probably went something along those lines. But as far as the story, the drama, how's the kids doing, all that stuff behind it is all made up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you kind of get the feel of the ideology of the people at the time, what some of the actual events were. The semantics is in the did they really say this or believe this or whatever. That's up for debate. But so your book's kind of in that probably same vein, I'm guessing, where the characters per se may or may not be real, or the dialogue of what their thoughts and actions is interpreted, but what they did and who they did it with or how they did it, that's all historically correct.
Yeah, and I earlier I called it a kid's book. I guess I should clarify the main character is 14.
Okay.
And it's appropriate for anybody over 12.
So a teenager would probably relate to the main character better than an adult would. But that being said, adults will enjoy the book.
You should remember what it was like to be 14 and just laugh at it.
Exactly. So you're hearing the story through the eyes of a 14-year-old's brain, basically.
So it's intelligently plotted at an adult level, but it's like appropriate for kids. Nothing inappropriate if you're like over 12. Is kind of what I say.
So is he a kid that's living in the late 1800s here?
So the book
what's the story here?
The book is set.
Although I see a car on here, so I'm thinking that might be off-putting or off a little bit. Here.
So the tombstone was stolen in 1950, right after a visit from Brushy Bill Roberts.
Okay, so the 50s era is
what I'm saying is so it was stolen in 1950, but it got returned in 1976.
Okay.
So this book takes place that year in 76 when it got returned.
All right.
So it's a big deal. The tombstone.
So
came
right
back
there at
into
the
town.
centennial and all that. Okay.
And so the main character basically learns that it's like a clue and a lost treasure type thing, and so he's got to steal the tombstone in the middle of the tombstone race that Fort Sumner's putting on, which is they actually do a tombstone race. Donna and I went to that a couple weeks ago, and
people are dying to check it out.
Yeah, Donna. Well, actually, yeah. Well, you say that, but so Donna and we got there too late, and we just drove through the parking lot. Every spot was taken, so we had to look at it from a distance, and all we saw of the tombstone race was this teenage kid puking in a dumpster because it was hot. He has to run with a tombstone replica.
I feel like a tombstone's not light. Yeah. So basically, it's an endurance run that kind of raises awareness for the history, and they probably use it as a fundraiser.
You throw the tombstone over a hurdle, and then you jump over the hurdle, pick it up, take it to another hurdle.
So it's really like a Ninja Warrior thing with tombstones kind of deal. All right, cool. So basically, the story takes place 70s in that time, and it's kind of the event. That's pretty cool. So, is this your first adventure into a real novel form? Because everything else I think you've done is all historical, accurate, or documentary style subject matter,
Yeah, that's true. So what's funny, I only just now published it, but I started writing it back when I was 19.
Okay.
So it's been in the works for a long time, and I would have finished drafts, and I would let them sit for a few years, then come back to it, and I just now finally felt like it was right.
That's right. You were telling me this is the one that you've basically been writing since you were a child.
And I want to throw in too that the cover is by Logan Pack, which is really cool.
It's a beautiful art here.
Local Roswell artist is mainly why I bring that up.
Yeah, there's the cover art there. Please excuse my fingers, but yeah, it's a beautiful. It's got a what it kind of has a vibe of the Grand Theft Auto artistry. Yeah. If you ever look at some of the game, I'm sure you haven't played it, but as far as that imagery almost has that Charlie's Angels because it's 70s.
Yeah.
So it evokes a lot of Charlie's Angels that 70s genre feel to it, like 70s action dramas kind of thing. It's got that feel of that. Like I could, in my head, I'm hearing a lot of disco music going on. But good news is you can get a copy of this book tomorrow at the book fair. I do want to, we talk about the book fair happening tomorrow. If you want to support the Historical Society, there's many ways to do it. When you come out, obviously shopping at the book fair tomorrow is a great way to do it. But we've been also in our loose change drive. So bring your loose change by if you want, and we'll take it right there. We've been filling our Coca-Cola bottles all over town here. Ours needs a little help, actually. I was looking, and I don't think it's been added to it in a while. I joke coins in there every once as I walk by, but it needs more eyeballs to get on that one to fill up. But bring your loose change out to the event tomorrow, and we'll collect that from you if you've got your little jars or piggy banks or Ziploc bag, whatever it is. We'll take it, and maybe put it in something. If you just got like a handful, I mean, we'll take it, but it might be a lot of trips for you if you've got more than that. But we do appreciate all of that. Of course, you can go if you can't make it tomorrow. Shame on you, but just kidding. I understand. Life's busy. But if you can't make it tomorrow, please visit the Historical Society's website, roswellnmhistory.org. You won't be able to get some of the rare books we're talking about that are available at the book fair tomorrow, but all of John's books, this one and all the others we talked about, all of Donna's books, many other our local authors and from the region here, Elvis Fleming, all of his books, things like that. If we have copies of them left, those to be honest, those are starting to get a little scant, aren't they? The Elvis Fleming books there's not as many.
Just certain ones.
Certain models are getting a little.
Yeah. And on that note, we do have, I think, 2 Roundup on the Pegasus that are signed. So if you want one of those, they're there tomorrow.
Okay. But like I said, we lost this great man a couple years ago, and that's going to make these things more and more rare now because they're just harder to find. He's not with us to create new materials and things anymore. So please come check that out. But check out the website, roswellnmhistory.org. Get the Peter Hurd prints. If you love those, you can get them through our website. Also, you can learn more about becoming a member of the Historical Society through there. And you can do that Saturday. Come out tomorrow. Talk to Amy. She'll be happy to give you all the details
she's
about
actually
membership.
going to be gone, but we'll still have brochures that we can hand out.
And John can help you.
Yeah, sure.
Well, and I imagine we'll have some folks there that can help you with all that information. We have some great people that serve on the board and used to be on the board and still, and I'm sure our Jane Englands of the world will all be hanging out and keeping us honest. But it really is a lot of fun. But if you can't make it, check out the website. Please support that way. And then don't forget, too, while you're there, check out the archive facility if you need that. If you got an event or something coming up or a business meeting or a small little reception or something, I think it seats about 75. It's got a full kitchen, but we rent that out for folks, too. So while you're there looking at the books, check out the facility. And if you think it might work for your next shindig, let us know. We love to rent that out to people. It's another way to help support our Historical Society because that house right next door, that's the historical landmark, and it's an old house. And guess what old houses do? They need a lot of maintenance. They need a lot of work. The weather, and especially in southeast New Mexico, not the kindest to houses and things. So by you supporting all this, you're helping us do that too. So come on out. So Donna, anything we want to let folks know about what you've got going on here other than come see you tomorrow? Any other things you want to put on people's radar that you got working?
Oh, well, I'm working on a book, thanks to John, called Tall Tales and Half-Truths of Clay Allison.
Okay.
That's been a lot of fun, and he's collaborating with me on that one, so I thank you very much for that book. We've also, speaking of paranormal stuff, coming up in October, John and I will be we'll be doing a lecture series on paranormal stories, on ghost stories at the museum as well. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to do a big shout out to Amy for putting all this together and for being such a great supporter of our work. And I really appreciate your time and your efforts. She's an absolute treasure.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for Amy McVeigh. She keeps the doors open, the things going, keeps everybody on task. She really does a great job of serving the Southeast New Mexico through the Historical Society, among other things. She's involved she wears several hats and does a lot in our community, but absolutely. And of course, and I would also say she couldn't do what she does without you and John and folks like you too, because you're the ones that's out there preserving the history, researching, doing all this stuff without the services of folks like John and Donna, like yourselves. Where does this history go, you wonder? Would someone else pick up that mantle, or does it get lost to history? You know what I mean? It's like, how many generations are going to learn about the antics of the Lincoln County War or some of the tales of the West here without these books being out there, because who else is covering it? It's kind of, it's a great thing. So it's everybody's does a great role here, and we do appreciate it. So I'd love to folks come on out, come meet John and Donna, come check out the old books, come especially if you're a lifetime resident in this area, you maybe seen some books and you want to take a trip down memory lane. I imagine the Historic Book Fair will probably evoke a few of those feels in you when you come out and start going through the book stacks and all that good thing. So come on. And then now, Donna, is there a place to I know we always steer people to the Historical Society for your books, but do you have a website where folks can check out all your books and everything you're doing?
Actually, I do not have a website, but I am on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, so look for Donna Blake Burchell on Facebook and Instagram.
Correct.
Awesome. And then, John, I know your stuff's on Amazon, things like that, but do you have a website devoted to your stuff?
No, like you said, I'm the Donna Blake Burchell of Roswell, so I don't have one. I
just look for John LeMay on Facebook.
Amazon, just on Amazon, I have an author page, and you'll see everything I've ever done. So.
Very good. And of course, he also dabbles into the sci-fi world, too, with his Godzilla. He takes the historical eye to it, like he does with all of his historical stuff. And to me, that's the part I love. Weirdly enough, the Winning Time. There's a show on HBO called Winning Time, and it chronicles when Magic Johnson joins the Lakers, and kind of and Dr. Buss and all. So it kind of chronicles that right around 1980s, late 70s, when all that went down. I'm not a huge basketball fan. The Lakers, I don't care about. It's not something I'm into. But the stories behind the stories, I love that stuff. Yeah. And so I enjoyed that series so much, even though I could care less about basketball or the Lakers. But I loved that show. And that's where I think your Godzilla books are. It's like, Godzilla's cool and all that. But to hear the stories, to see how it evolved to what you know it to be, I love that. Yeah. And I love this. And I don't care if it's a topic I'm interested or not. I love the behind the scenes, how it's done kind of thing. So bring it on. More of those books. Love them.
Thank you.
Anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share that we didn't get a chance to?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. Like you said, you got the loose change in there.
Yeah.
So.
And again, tomorrow from 10 a.m. to noon at the Historical Society's Archive Building, 208 North Lee Street. If you have any questions, 622-8333, or just come on out tomorrow. Like I say, it'll start about 10, and they'll wrap up about noon there. And come on out, mystery bags, rare out-of-print historic books. Mm-hmm. They're not so rare that we don't have doubles, though. Yeah. So relax. and then come meet Donna and John, and come check out their latest books. Again, for Donna, it's The Ghostly Tales of New Mexico, a children's book. And then John LeMay's newest novel called The Noted Desperado Pancho Dumes. And like you said, it's good for everybody, but I think your teenagers might gravitate towards this book because it's kind of told through the brain of a 14-year-old.
Yeah, so. Like The Outsiders.
Yeah, very cool. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate the visit.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you this weekend.
Thank you.
Safe travels up north here, Donna. Don't get abducted by ghosts or aliens on your way.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I don't know where that line is from ghost to alien, but be careful wherever it is. So. Thank you, Donna. Have a great day.
You too. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Donna Blake Virtual. Thank you, John, as always. Appreciate your visits. And we'll see you next time here. And come on out this weekend and come check out all the books and stuff. So appreciate it, John. It is 9:53. Let's do news and a quick break before they kick me off La Radio. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Sorello. We begin today with a traffic alert in Roswell. The next phase of a street improvement project on West McGaffey Street is scheduled to begin on Monday. McGaffey will be closed from just east of South Union Avenue to Sunset Avenue, and that includes the intersection of McGaffey and Union. The closure will take place every day during the daytime, and the street will be reopened during the nighttime. The project on this section of street is scheduled to last all week. Motorists are reminded to be aware of traffic control and the detour signs. Eddy County Manager Alan Davis confirming to commissioners this week that an industrial revenue bond granted to Houston-based Summit Midstream Partners has been paid off 25 years early. The bonds were granted so the company could buy land and build their natural gas plant. Well, the agreement was scheduled to end in 2047, but Davis told commissioners the entire bill was paid off last month. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Now, here's the morning Sean Hannity update.
But this is the state of our country today. But you know what they're not talking about? Let's see. The Biden inflation crisis has 83% of Americans cutting back on personal spending. Why? They can't afford it. Consumer confidence has now hit its lowest point in a decade. They're not talking about that, or record high inflation, or record high gas prices. 76% of Democrats say this country is now on the wrong track. They don't want to focus on that. Joe Biden's electric vehicle push hits a roadblock as the average price for an EV is $54,000. Flight cancellations and flight increase in prices are through the roof. And guess what? Your 4th of July will be the most expensive in history. And last point is the Fed will now print more money to avert a government default. Great news for the economy. Great job, Joey.
Join Sean later today, right here on the Sean Hannity Show.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code HOUSE for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code HOUSE. Use code HOUSE for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms will be possible for the afternoon. Otherwise, we get a mix of sunshine and clouds today, warming into the upper 90s. Maybe an isolated shower this evening, and then just a few clouds overnight with low 70s. Sunny and hot again on Saturday. We're in the upper 90s, but that slight chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Sunny and 100 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The Labor Department has released the June employment report. America's employers grew their payrolls by 372,000 jobs last month, a decline of 390,000 hires in May. The unemployment rate holding steady at 3.6% for a fourth consecutive month. After going on a hiring spree for a year and a half to meet surging shopper demand, America's retailers are starting to temper their recruiting. The change comes as companies confront a pullback in consumer spending, the prospect of an economic downturn, as well as surging labor costs. A new AP NORC poll finds concerns about inflation and personal finances are now top of mind for American consumers, while COVID has pretty much disappeared from the radar screen. Wall Street opened lower this morning, turning mixed at mid-morning. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Oh! Shooters, get ready. The H.F. Sinclair Charity Freedom Clay Shoot is set for Saturday, July 16th at the Eddy County Shooting Range. Deadline to register is July 11th. 1 in 4 shooters win, with one winner drawn from each team. There's a big silent auction and fantastic prizes. A shotgun, rifles, pistols, coolers, smokers, and more. All shooters receive a gift and lunch, Friday night lights, and 5 stand shoot. Plus a cookout is optional. Register online at artesiachamber.com. All proceeds benefit local Boy Scouts and community impact programs.
The ENMU Roswell Pool is open for summer 2022, and it's open 7 days a week from 10 to 11 every day for lap swimming and from 11 to 5 for open swim. Just $5 for the whole day. Once you pay, you can stay all day with full concession stand, lots of covered seating, and more. Swim passes are available, and ENMUR students get it half off. Book the pool for your next party or get together and run the pool from 6 to 10 p.m. For information and reservations, call 575-624-7305. That's 575-624-7305.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
All right, it is 10 o'clock. That's about going to do it for us. Thanks for listening. Have an amazing